Deep drive to right, to the track, to the wall. Willie Adames goes yard. Giants 1-0 on top of the Dodgers. Welcome to Bottom of the Pint. Larry Krueger, John Lund here during Giants baseball. Tonight, a little Sierra Nevada on tap. We are going to enjoy the rivalry, which goes back to New York City. Giants and Dodgers. Giants with a 1-0 lead. At the end of the top of the first inning, the Dodgers coming to the plate. Welcome to the show. Of course, the Krug Show brought to you by Pig at a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. We're also brought to you by Sharp Corners, sports cards, and collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, along the Monterey Peninsula. My good friend Anthony Catania is there at 831-521-5264, and he's a great follow on IG. Sharp Corners 831 on the gram, as the kids like to say. And Mancini's, can't forget Mancini's. Quick shout out to our sponsor, Mancini Sleep World. Best price guarantee, 365-night comfort guarantee, free next day delivery. If you've been thinking about upgrading your bed, now is the time. Make sure you use the code KRUG10, KRUG10, KRUEG10 at checkout at any of Mancini's locations or online at sleepworld.com. You'll save an additional 10%. Thanks to Mancini's for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. Johnny, good to see you. Giants Dodgers Friday night. I invited Ned Coletti. I don't know if he's going to join us or not, but I did throw out an invite to Ned. I heard him on the radio. I heard he was going to be on the radio this afternoon. I don't know if he actually was. But what do you think? Giants Dodgers.
Well,
by the
let's
way,
go. I mean, yeah.
My door just opened here. Let me close my door. I'll be right back. Give me 30 seconds.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, disappointing loss to the Rockies. Randy Rodriguez getting going in Colorado for his first shot, but that's all right. One game back of the Dodgers, Willie Adames. I was talking about it yesterday. Does getting going in Colorado mean anything for Willie Adames, or is it just, hey, it's Colorado, you're going to hit a couple of home runs? But Willie Adames, who surprisingly enough, even though everybody's talking about, you can't hit at Oracle Park, well, he's 100 points lower in his OPS on the road. So maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't, but he hits a couple of home runs in Colorado, and all of a sudden in the first inning, he hits a home run in LA against the Dodgers. So maybe that gets him going. Hopefully it does, but you get a 1-0 lead for Logan Webb. Yamamoto gives up a quick early run. That's huge because, I'm going to be 100% wrong because I always am when it comes to bets, but I'm expecting a 2-1, 3-2 kind of a game. So you get a home run in the first inning off Yamamoto with these two pitchers. We had to do a bottom of the pint, right? I mean, this is the game of the year for us so far, right?
I'm going Sierra Nevada Pale Ale tonight. Tall boy, if you can tell.
Oh, that's a big boy. Yeah.
Going with the big boy. Going with the big tall. I got a couple. I got 3 of them in the fridge.
Oh, very nice.
So, and I'm pouring it so delicately. Oh, look at that. What a fantastic pour.
I got myself a hazy wheat ale here today. And
look at that.
Let's go. Dude, that's a great pour right there.
Is that a great pour?
Much better than the pour I just gave. Very nice. Very nice.
All right, and I will be in getting deep into that because we have to we got to go deep. We got to chug for Adames. Because he did go yard. We didn't even get it rolling yet, and Adames goes yard. You brought it up. It's like the guy was in a funk, and then all of a sudden, they gave him a couple days off, and he got to watch it. And I don't know, maybe that was it. Maybe it's the warmer weather. I always felt like, baseball's a tough sport because you got to be good in when it's really, really hot and sticky and sweaty, but you also got to be good, when it's cold in April and March and October. It's so I don't know. It's and some guys are better in warmer weather. I don't know if he's one of those guys, but they paid. I'll say this: as much as people may, regret paying Adames, I'd much rather pay Adames and overpay for him than pay. Now it's easy to say this right now, a Corbin Burns,
right?
But I mean, I wouldn't want to like Logan Webb, homegrown Giant. If you can get him for a reasonable deal, okay, but I wouldn't want to go some big money monster, cutting edge salary, top of the scale, long-term deal on a pitcher. No way.
Well, like I said, lots of injuries, and it's easy to say now. By the way, Mookie Betts just struck out on 3 pitches against Logan Webb. He came into the game 10 for 29 with 2 home runs and about OPS of over 1,000 against Logan Webb. So Webb strikes out Ohtani. Webb strikes out Betts and Willie Adames, as we're talking about, hits a home run. So pretty good start for the Giants just really early on. But
yeah, we got the dual stream going because I also got on the other tube. I got NBA Finals.
That's what I got too. I got the same
OKC and Indiana.
Yeah,
I took Indiana tonight.
Well, if they take a 3-1 lead, my goodness, man, it'd be huge, right?
You know, Indiana was getting points tonight.
We saw that. Yeah, I didn't believe it.
And I just think they're going to win. I think OKC, gagged that first game, and you cannot gag games in the finals. You cannot. And I do think the officiating is a little bit more straight in the finals. And I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they're begging. I mean, if you looked at the odds, you would swear OKC's winning this game. And OKC has been awesome off a loss this year. But I just think that they're a young team that they blew game one, and I think that's going to be their undoing.
Yeah, and look, what's funny
is what's the score now though? They just came back from a commercial.
I'm popping it back on. I had the Giants. Now I got the Giants in front of me, and I'm going to have Oklahoma City behind me. But 71-64 Indiana. About 7 minutes left in the third.
Yeah, so there you
go. This is where the Warriors are in this situation, been here, done that, and a lot of people, including myself, are like, hey, if Oklahoma City wins this thing and they get that championship swag of been there, done that, then they could run off a dynasty kind of a thing, but you got to get the first one first. And now here's Oklahoma City never having been here before, backs against the wall. They won a bunch of games. When was the last time they really had to win a game? I mean, they won game 7 against Denver, but all season long they kind of cruised. And now you sit here and you go, look, you go down 3-1 and you're going home. I get that, but you're in a really tough place. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Steve Kerr, they've been there before. These guys haven't. So before you could get that dynasty, you got to get that first one. And Oklahoma City is an awesome team. Indiana, you're kind of looking at them, okay, Halliburton's good, Siakam's good, but just their total parts, that's a really good team. And they're not going to just lay down on the floor. And I think for a young team, Oklahoma City thought, well, we got these guys. They bounced back in game 2. And I think they thought, well, we got these guys. You go down, get 3-1. Look at history. You don't come back.
Mark Graves is watching in my backyard with the Mister beautiful. Going. He's in Arizona. Graves is down in Arizona, going to Arizona. This is happy bottom of the pint. Oh,
yeah,
man.
You're definitely triple digits down there.
Graves, here's one to you, brother. We had a good time in March.
Here's the Willie Adames, man.
There you go. This is for Graves and Willie Adames. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, look at the Krug. Look at the Krug taking one down, bro. I didn't know you were going full bore. Nice. Woo.
That's for Adames and Graves. Only one of them is hitting over 200.
He hits a home run, and you're still taking a shot at the dude.
No negativity. No negativity.
No, we're not. I was saying that this morning on my show. I was like, the thing about it, Krueger and I got
did you go
together.
Early today? Did you go early?
Yeah, I usually go about 9.
I thought you went earlier.
No,
you didn't go 6, did you?
No.
I think at 6 a.m. my phone must have re-registered, and I got your yesterday episode or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because I always send stuff out all the time, so it might have been something like that. But I was talking about that this morning. That whole deal. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm excited for tonight's game, man. I'm excited for the fact is that we're almost halfway through the season, and the Giants are 1 game behind the Dodgers. Would you have thought that? Would you have thought that they'd be 1 game? I mean, then they should have won.
Giants have better pitching. Giants have better pitching.
Much better. And here's the thing too, and I know you and I talked about this. Everybody wanted to anoint the Dodgers, and they're going to go out at the deadline, and they're going to get more starting pitching.
Sure.
But last year, Yamamoto threw 90 innings. We know what happened with Blake Snell. He was hurt. Tyler Glasnow is always hurt. So before everybody started to, Gonsolin is down again.
Where's Sasaki? Where's Roki Sasaki?
He was on a short-term IL. So he's hurt too. And now, Dustin May.
Is he physically hurt, or is he kind of emotionally hurt?
I think he's
or is he mentally hurt?
Yeah, he's physically hurt. And then Dustin May is coming back, and we're going to see him, I think, in the 3rd game of the series. And he's not what he was. I mean, I like him, and he's still got really good stuff. But my point is that before we anoint the Dodgers, and they didn't even have great pitching last year. They had a lot of injuries and still made it happen because their offense is that good. But the Giants pitching normally, yesterday withstanding, in Colorado generally withstanding, is as good as what the Dodgers hitting is. This is the best bullpen in baseball. And the way Birdsong's starting to pitch, that first 3 is really, really good. And if Verlander comes back and pitches, maybe it could be even a 5, I mean, you're cooking with gas on this team if Buster can shake some pennies loose from the tight guys up top and get some money at the deadline. Get a couple of bats.
Get a bat. I mean, it's funny. People were making fun of me last week because I was like, "Hey, go get Andrew Vaughn. He's totally gonna gettable." And the guy's from Santa Rosa. He's pure hitter. So what? He's down right now. Guys go up, guys go down. He either has an injury or he'll figure it out. He's too good of a hitter. Today he got dealt for Savali. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So I mean, the Brewers obviously thought he wasn't done. We'll see. Now I'm suggesting,
like you said.
Now I'm suggesting, maybe Pavin Smith from the Diamondbacks. But I mean, you gotta get another bat or two. It doesn't have to be a superstar. It's got to be a.
I think they need a right fielder and a first baseman. We'll see what Dominic Smith hit a great home run and he's been okay so far. But let me go back to your Vaughn thing because the first thing I thought of was you because you and I have talked about this. Guy was the 3rd overall pick by the White Sox. He has the 2nd worst OPS in baseball. I get that, but he's young and he can hit and could always hit. So I think he'll come back around. Here's what I think is interesting here, which still could affect the Giants, which is, let's say Milwaukee, loses 9-10 or something like that. Now, if you're the Brewers, you've got a guy in Vaughn, and if he can get a little bit hot, you play him at first, and now Rhys Hoskins is expendable. And Milwaukee's got to lose some games.
That's the guy. That's the guy. Get Rhys.
So Vaughn's a first baseman / DH. Rhys Hoskins is sitting there. If Milwaukee falls out of it, because they got an option on Hoskins next year, but he's making $18 million. So at the midway point of the season, you're going to pay him $9 million. Milwaukee's a small market team. If they fall out of it, they'll trade him. They'll save $9 million and they'll put in Andrew Vaughn at first base to see if he can play. Right?
I'm doing that. I'm absolutely doing that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense. Yaz up, man on first. Flores just singled. 1-0 Giants, top 2, no outs in L.A. One of my favorite things to do is watch Giants Dodgers from L.A. I mean, obviously we love our own yard, but Dodger Stadium is just awesome. I mean, it's timeless. I mean, it's like I feel like I'm in a time capsule. It's a new it has a newish look, but it's a classic old stadium. So you have all these great memories or bad memories of that park, and it's such a cool spot. It's such a cool spot. Couple supers. Let's get it going here, and we will chug for 20 supers tonight. Let's go to the starred chats. Fuji Simeon says, "Cheers to Adames. He's hot. He's hot the past few days. No question.
Do that. Yeah, I owe one too. So
yeah, Johnny got to catch up here. Fuji Simeon says, Larry, can you elaborate on the Giants trading for Mike Trout? Well, I was just suggesting that you look at Trout, and I did a video on this the other day, and why not? It got 20,000 views or whatever. I mean, it was, and I actually do believe it's a good opportunity. The Giants have money. They don't have a real name. They don't have a calling card, draw. You've got Trout. He signed for $34.5 million through the 30 season, I think, or maybe even beyond that. But it's like his 38th season. For like the next 5 years, he's owed like $34 million a year. And what I'm suggesting is, go to the Angels and say, hey, we'll give you a package of second-tier prospects, and we'll take on, $30 million a year. You take on the 4.5 every year for the rest of the deal. We'll take on the 30, and we'll give you Marco Luciano. We'll give you Joe Whitman, and we'll give you 4 or 5 or 6 prospects, but none. You're not getting any of the top guys. You're not getting the elite guys, but we'll give you some guys. We'll take on that money. You put them in right field. You hit him in the middle of the lineup, and yes, I mean, I was suggesting as well that maybe you would say to them, hey, we'll take the full contract. And they also have a second baseman named Moore that they just called up.
Kid out of Tennessee. I don't know if people watched the College World Series last year. He was awesome. But they just called him up, and I was saying, hey, look, go to them and say, we'll take the whole thing of Trout's contract. Or we'll take the whole thing, but you give us that prospect, or we'll pay $30 million and you can keep your prospect. So in other words, we'll pay less money of Trout's deal and you can keep more, or we'll pay the full deal, give you a bunch of prospects, but we want more coming back. Yeah, and like you said, you hit it on the head as far as that goes. It's 37. It's 37.1 million for the next 5 years. So you're looking at paying Trout $185 million, which, look, that's a lot of money. And the total contract was $426 million. So they paid a lot of it. He's been injured a lot. If you could tell me, which you can't, but let's just play along here and have some fun. If you could tell me Mike Trout was going to be healthy for the next 5 years, I don't expect him to be 22, 23-year-old Mike Trout, who we all were like, oh my God, it's the next Mickey Mantle. But he's got power that doesn't matter if it's this ballpark. Plus, he's a right-handed hitter. So Mike Trout can hit 30 home runs in this park, no problem. Mike Trout, if healthy, even at this age, can hit 30 home runs, knocking 100. And like you said, as a drawing card, which the Giants haven't had for a long time and would die to get because that's what their front office is all about. And if I don't have to give up, I'm not giving up Birdsong. If you want Harrison in that trade, that's fine. I'm kind of down on Harrison.
I wouldn't even give. I wouldn't even give Harrison. I mean, I'd give like Luciano and other guys, lower level guys. But I think if you're taking on $100+ million, you don't have to give away your top.
Well, and I think too that at this point, if you're the Angels, and there's been some discussion, like I said, in 2016, the Cubs team when they had all those young players when Bryant was young and Rizzo and Schwarber and Baez and all those guys, they were talking about a Trout deal there, which the Angels, if they could go back in time, would do in about 3 seconds because he's been injured so much. But at this point of his career, he's not what he was. And so I think maybe the Angels would do that. And I'll tell you, the Giants would, not only for baseball reasons, but Larry Bear and they've been trying to get the Bryce Harper, the Ohtani, the Stanton, the guy where the next Buster, the guy where it's like, are we going to go to the yard today? Well, Trout's going to get 4 at bats. Let's go to the yard. They know that. That's how the Giants operate.
I mean, he would be a draw. Fuji Simeon says, okay, so that's that one. But we also have this one from Fuji. He says, update on bottom of the pint merch, glasses or coasters. John, how is the grill cam coming? Will Damon come on in the future for bottom of the pint? He's got to get the invite, and thus far he doesn't have the invite. He doesn't have the invite.
I was on a show about a week ago, and I was telling him about it because I did do one show with them, it was supposed to be kind of like the Manning cast.
I'm very particular about bottom of the pint.
Exactly.
I'm very particular.
I was supposed to stay for like a quarter, I think, with the one Niners game, and we did the whole game and drank beers. And it was kind of fun. It was kind of like this. And he was kind of hitting towards like, yeah, I want to make an appearance on there. And I said, dude, I said, Krug has the invite. I said, you got to go through Krug, man. And so you never know, right? You just never know who's going to show up.
It's a tough invite. It's a tough invite. I did invite Ned Colletti tonight. So possibly Ned could pop in, which would be awesome. But Johnny, it's a very exclusive club. It's kind of like a more exclusive version of the Gotham Club. Think of it that way. The Gotham Club,
it's funny.
Is pretty exclusive, but this is even more exclusive.
It was. I used to. Yeah, those people all knew me down there, and I was like, yeah, I just walk right in, and now they're like, yo, who are you? I'm like, what do you mean, who am I? Where do you stop that? But yeah, that is an exclusive club. The grill cam, the thing is, it's Father's Day weekend, by the way, and happy Father's Day to everybody. So I come home. Today. I get home late in the afternoon, and my wife had tacos. So I did not fire up the grill cam because my favorite thing in the world is probably tacos, and she knew that. So she started Father's Day weekend, and she had the whole. And I usually cook around the house, and she had the whole setup. And so I couldn't do a grill cam tonight because she had tacos ready.
We also went tacos. Did you go chicken tacos, beef tacos, steak tacos, carnitas? What are we talking about?
You're a man after my own heart because I love all that stuff so much. She just cooked the regular old beef tacos, and they were very good. But yeah, if I had my druthers doing doing real chicken and putting it in the spices and then ripping up making shredded chicken, I love that. But she did they were really good.
Oh, dude, the other day, my buddy Derek, his son graduated from Northgate. And he's going to Missouri.
Oh, nice.
And so Derek's a great guy, and all 3 of his boys have graduated. And they played football and baseball with my kids. So we got invited to the graduation party last week, and it's in the backyard. And I always love going to his parties because he gets like a Mexican restaurant to come out there, and he does the full bore taco bar with the flat top. And what do you want? Carnitas? You want like different kinds of chicken, different kinds of beef, different kinds of. I mean, it's amazing. It's like so authentic, right? You got the onions, you got the cilantro, you got the three different kinds of salsa.
How about that?
You've got the cheese, you've got the chips that are just so dark because they've been cooking in oil that they're just it's just like the greatest chip of all time. You know
what's funny about that is, I mean, obviously Mexican food has been so Americanized, but like you said, I had a friend that had his 50th birthday, and he brought people up. He lives in Arizona, and he brought these people up that he met from the border to actually do his time. And it's just night and day. Like, it's not that it's bad. It's not. We Americanize Mexican food, and it's really good. But like you just said right there, when you get the authentic stuff, like the real, it's like, wow, man.
Well, like my favorite Mexican food is like street tacos.
Yes.
Like, I don't want refried beans.
Right.
I don't want beans.
Yeah, that's filler. You know,
I don't want beans. I don't mind a little. Yeah, I don't mind a little rice. I don't mind a little rice as a base. But
beans and rice, like, you know, when you're at a place, because actually authentic food, Mexican food, they don't do this. They just put the food up there. You want beans, you want rice. They're just trying to get filler for you, so they don't have to give you as much. And it's like, no, man, I want the taco, and I don't want and I don't need to load it up. This isn't Taco Bell. Like, real street tacos just have the meat and the queso, the cheese, the real, the authentic Mexican cheese,
and like some onion cilantro mix.
Onion cilantro, and that's it. They don't hide it with a bunch of stuff. They don't need to chuck a bunch. It's just a real simple,
I went down to Santa Barbara, and we went out to a Mexican restaurant on State Street in downtown Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
And I ordered the street tacos, and they came in threes, and I got like 2 chicken, 1 carnitas, and it came in that like thing that like holds them, And I was like, oh man, this is genius, man.
Those are the best, aren't they?
Anyway, by the way, one other mention, Invader 49er has not been in the chat recently. Invader and I had a bet. I lost the bet. The bet was,
you did, huh?
I said that Willie Lampkin was going to get drafted. He said he wasn't going to get drafted. He was right. So he said he wanted a helmet, and then we said,
Denver? Is that where he went? Denver?
He went to the Rams. Drafted to the Rams.
Okay. Yeah, signed his free, right.
So he's now a Ram, and so Invader and I decided he was going to get a 49er helmet, and he was willing to take a mini helmet. Anyway, Invader, I just want you to know I have ordered the mini helmet, and it's supposed to arrive Thursday or Friday of next week, and then I will be sending it to you. So,
boy, look at you, man! Coming through on the bet.
Yeah,
Good
I mean,
man.
the one thing, I mean, you can say a lot of things about Larry Krueger, but Larry Krueger pays his bets. I lose a lot of bets. I talk a lot of S. I talk a lot of S. I make a lot of wagers. I lose a lot of wagers.
Yeah.
But I do pay.
That's outstanding.
Christian Sanchez is going to Chase Field next month for the Giants. It's a good spot.
Yeah.
Good spot. The original Bob. Ricky Williams.
What's
Come
up,
on,
Ricky
fellas.
Williams?
It's Friday the 13th. Chug.
Go.
There we go.
By the way, 1-0 in the bottom of the second. Will Smith on second base. He just walked Hernandez. Teoscar Hernandez just walked. So first and second, nobody out for Logan Webb. What's going on, Logan? Let's go. So
Fuji
first and second,
says,
no out.
No out. First and second. Giants threatening, looking to go up big here. Fuji says, I don't know what's more shocking, the Pope being a White Sox fan, saw the photo of the Pope with the hat, or the Giants being competitive in the NL West. Well, I'll say this. My late mother was a very, if she was if there were season tickets for church, she would have been a season ticket holder. You know what I mean? She was like, she definitely was a season ticket holder at church. And
I'm a CNE, Christmas and Easter.
The fact that my mother is up there, and in the roughly the same time that she got up there, the Pope is a White Sox fan.
Yeah.
And she grew up a big White Sox fan. So I'm taking that as a sign. So I would say I'm more shocked by the Pope being a White Sox fan, but I feel like she had something to do with that. Fuji says the only knock on Larry is that he's an SI Wildcat. Go Cats, get him Cats, go get him Cats. All right, we're seven supers in. We chug at 20. We chug at 20 tonight.
I brought in 3 to start, and I'm already like 1.5 in, so we're moving pretty quickly here. Very nice.
Yeah, I got some.
Very nice.
I got
the
some
second inning.
I got some Sierra Nevada tall boys tonight. I
almost did a Krueger, by the way. I went to the store today. I bought some like a honey wheat lager, which is very nice. But I was looking at like the big tall boys that you bring in, and I was thinking, should I do a Krug and just bring in a bunch of big ones? But I ended up getting, some of these honey wheat beers, which are very good, by the way. But yeah, I was looking your way tonight. I was like, should I get a couple of torpedoes and just like, but I went with this. By the way, end of 3, 86-78 Indiana. If they take a 3-1 lead on Oklahoma City, goodness gracious. Oh, they couldn't the Giants couldn't turn the double play. They almost did. Max Muncy beats out the double play. So first and third, Will Smith on first, Max Muncy on third, 1 out.
Dude, I think OKC is the better team. They won 68 games. Indiana won 50. But OKC is absolutely outside of Caruso. It's a 40-year-old coach and a bunch of guys who have never done it before.
Yep.
The fact that they're favored in this game tonight on the road in the NBA Finals against a team that's already up 2-1 on them, that they gagged a 20-point lead to in game 1. Yeah, I don't think so, man. I took Indiana. Let's see what I got. Let's see how many points I got here.
Well, they're up 9. Final possession. Sorry, I said it was the end of the third quarter. Final possession of the third quarter. Oklahoma City's got the ball down 9.
I'm getting 6.
Oh, you're in good shape. I mean, we're going into the fourth here in a minute. In just a second.
Of course, he just missed it. As soon as I said that, he misses a free throw.
All right, so 87-80. It's going to be 87-80 Indiana going into the third. You're in pretty good shape. What did you say? You got 6?
So
you're up 13 right now? You're in pretty good shape, man, going into the fourth.
I mean, you're going to take the team on their home floor in the finals? I mean, that's
6. That's a pretty big number, man. But they probably thought
people are waiting on OKC.
Oh,
7-point Pacers lead going to the fourth.
They had Will Smith at the plate, and who's catching tonight? Obviously, it's not Patrick Bailey. He had a drop ball at the plate, which cost the Giants a run. So it's 1-1. Run around second, 2 out.
I flipped
over.
So
Yastrzemski catches it in right on the line, throws a perfect dart home. Catcher reaches out, and he was going to call him out at the plate, but then the ball, Will Smith knocked it out of his glove with a slide. They would have had a double play and still a 1-0 lead, and drop ball at the plate. Oh, you got to hang on to that ball, man.
Behind the home plate, to the right of home plate, do you see Mary Hart there from Entertainment Tonight?
My God, she's not aging. I thought she would be gone by now.
Beautiful woman. I mean,
yeah, but she did Entertainment Tonight for 25 years.
Oh, I think she had her legs because they showed her legs under the. I think she had her legs insured by Lloyd's.
I think you're right. I
think I read that she had her legs insured.
Has no idea what we're talking about, but I'm telling you, man, Mary Hart was something back in the day. Oh, look at Michael Conforto, the former Giant, hitting 175. Very nice.
I've had my boiler insured by Lloyd's of London. I just don't want anything to happen to it. I just really don't.
How about what's LA paying Conforto for hitting 175? My God! I mean, talk about a guy that's just ripping everybody off. I mean, he was all right with the Mets.
Line drive right at Fitzgerald.
My
Giants
God.
get out of it. 1-1 ball game.
Conforto.
End of 2. 1-1 Dodgers with a run, but no hit.
They really
still a no.
They really should be up 1-0. You got to hang on to that ball at the plate. Patrick Bailey hangs on to that ball. Come on now. There you go.
What are the Giants, you think, going to do at the deadline? I mean, the team that makes sense to me is Baltimore because they've got O'Hearn and they have a young catcher who can hit named Basalo.
They got a couple of guys. They got Mountcastle. They got O'Hearn. They're totally out of it, and they're not going to. What they may start thinking is they still got. I mean, they don't have the guys they had in the minors they had before. But they've still got some guys down there, and the one thing that they certainly do lack, Baltimore, is young pitching. They've got sticks. I mean, they got Holiday. They've got a bunch of sticks still. Young guys that can hit. They need pitching, and the Giants could do that. Depending on what people think of Harrison, and I haven't seen enough, of Wiz and Hunt. I mean, I've heard and I've seen clips here and there, but if the Giants have something in their farm system that's a strength, it's pitching, right? And Baltimore's got young hitting. They don't, not to say they wouldn't take it, but they probably need young pitching. So they match up with the Orioles. And I'd try to do it sooner rather than later because, right now you're in this thing. I mean, you're 1-1 with the Dodgers, but you're one game back of the Dodgers. You can't wait until, mid to late July. The Dodgers are going to make a move, and it's going to be probably for a big name pitcher, right? They need starting pitching. They're going to go out and get starting pitching. So you got to do something, don't you?
I mean, I would say if you're the Giants, you really got to go for it because you're not in it every year. Some years you're way, way out of it. You're right there. You've got great pitching. It's a new regime. You're trying to reestablish a different culture, a winning culture. I think it means more to the Giants this year than most years to go to the playoffs. So if they get a close shot at it, damn right, they better go for it. I mean,
I think
in so many years, the Giants haven't had any prospects to trade. They actually do have stuff to trade if they wanted to trade it.
Well, Krueger, here's the other thing, too, by the way, 1-1, if you're just joining us for bottom of the pint here, as the Dodgers and the Giants are tied going to the top of the third. We're also keeping you up on the NBA Finals. 87-80, Indiana over OKC, just start of the fourth quarter. If I'm Buster Posey, this is the kind of series that can give me ammunition because everybody wants to say it's Buster, it's Buster, it's Buster. It's not Buster. It's Buster convincing those in the front office who control the purse strings that they're for real. That's what Buster has to do. He wants to make the moves. He would spend the money, but he doesn't have control over the checkbook. So let's say they take 2 of 3, or they were able to sweep the Dodgers, something like that. It's the first time they're seeing the Dodgers this year. It's a big game tonight, Yamamoto versus Webb. Let's say they do well up until the deadline or, middle of July, so the next month. But involved in that is a sweep over the Dodgers. Buster, and they stay in it. And Buster can go to the powers that be with a checkbook and say, guys, they've got pitching. They just got a pitcher, which they're going to do. We got to get some hitting here. We're in this thing. We're not a wild card team. We can win the division, but I need your help. I think then the front office would do that. But conversely, if they go out this weekend and they look terrible against the Dodgers, then the front office looks at it and goes, well, how good are we, man? Am I really going to give up, It's not the prospects for them. They don't care. They care about the money, right? Larry Bear wants to make, Willie Mays Plaza with the extra money they get better. Or he wants to fix suites up. They're not going to put money into baseball unless this team shows that they're worthy of being investable. And at this point, I think they are, but I'm not sure what the front office thinks other than Buster, who I think believes it. But it's the people who control the checkbook that matter.
And it's not Buster. Buster doesn't control the checkbook.
Yeah, I think Buster has influence more than much more than what Farhan did. But I still think that they'll look at Buster and say, "Hey, we love you, Buster, but we don't think this team's good enough." So you get a sweep over the Dodgers, and then you play good baseball the rest of this month. But we're just over a month away. They're starting to evaluate trade options now. So he's got to be able to convince the powers that be to loosen up the purse strings a little bit. I mean, we know this. They're like $30 million under the tax line. They can add. It's just a matter if they want to, right? The Dodgers will, and they're way over the line. The Dodgers are going to add. You know that. They're going to add.
Well, pitching. I mean, that's the thing that's so frustrating as a Giants fan. It's not that the Dodgers have more money. It's that the Dodgers have more money and spend a higher percentage of their baseball revenue on their roster than the Giants do. And so, I mean, that's the frustrating thing. If you're a Giants fan, is that not only do you not quite have the same amount of money, though you do have a ton of money, but you don't have, your owners are spending, the Dodgers are spending 52% of their baseball revenue, and the Giants are spending like 47%. And it's hard to compete when you're not spending as much and you're not spending the same percentage.
Yeah. Well, I just know this, that if I'm a Giants fan, that you just have to assume it because they always do it. They need starting pitching. They've had injuries. We've talked about it. They're going to get a starting pitcher. I don't know at what caliber, but they do it every single year. I mean, think about it. Scherzer, Darvish. Last year they go out and they get Jack Flaherty. They did whatever they need. They get a Trey Turner at the deadline. People forget because it was so short. They got Manny Machado at the deadline. Like, they'll get players at the deadline. It's not a matter of if, it's who. So then you're the Giants and you're trying to stay up with these guys. And it's not that you have to go tit for tat or something like that, but it's clear you need one, maybe two hitters. We'll see what Dom Smith does at first base, but right field, first base. And the way Tyler Fitzgerald's not hitting, I mean, he's getting on and using the athleticism. But didn't you think Tyler Fitzgerald might be a 20 home run guy after what we saw last year? So, the right side, whether it's second base, first base, right field, they need a couple of sticks. They got to get going. Bryce Eldridge's not going to be ready in time. I mean, he's hit a couple of home runs, but he's hitting like 138 at AAA. So it's going to be a minute. That guy's going to be a minute. He's not going to be here to save the season.
I mean, you don't trade him, but at the same time, that's not the answer in 2025.
Not happening this year. Yeah,
I mean, he might be a 2027 answer, but I don't think he's a 2025 answer. I mean, not based on what I've seen.
Adames just struck out. That's a tough pitch, man. 95, low part of the zone. That's rough.
Pacers up 89-84, not particularly playing all that well, I gotta say.
You have a lot of friends in Seattle too. I know that you do. And so I was talking to a friend of mine, and they are, because Oklahoma City stole the Sonics, and I know we don't like Seattle all that much when it comes to the Seahawks or whatever, but I'm rooting for the Pacers because I don't want Oklahoma City, what used to be the Sonics, to win an NBA championship, because I got some friends up in Seattle who are they are so against the Thunder. They are.
I mean, it was a backroom handshake deal between Clay Bennett, the owner of the Thunder, and David Stern, and it's just like you said goodbye to Seattle, which is
OKC.
Whatever the 21st market in the country, or 17th or whatever, for OKC, which is like 40 something or 48 or something.
Plus, they lost rivalry. I mean, even the Warriors, the Blazers, like the West, the Lakers, like that. That's a West Coast team. Like, I know that they're probably going to get a team, and Las Vegas is probably going to get a team with a push from LeBron James. But man, it's just you traded Seattle for Oklahoma City, man. That's weird to me. Always will be. Sonics had great fans.
Seriously. Did you catch any of the Niner minicamp or catch any of the headlines at Niner minicamp?
Yeah, and I know you were down there. In fact, I was playing some cuts both yesterday and today of Sala and Huff and some of these guys. And then also with John Lynch being on this morning, gave a really good update on Brandon Ayuk, and maybe he's going to be back sooner rather than later. Lynch was on with Pat McAfee today, but yeah, I mean, I think that you have to be encouraged. And one of the things Lynch said today with McAfee was, you're looking at Cincinnati, and like Hendrickson is out, or they're having problems with their first round pick Stewart because of some language in a thing, or TJ Watt is holding out in Pittsburgh. And you've seen this as much as I have, which, Trent Williams doesn't usually show up for these things. Nick Bosa doesn't show up for these things. He's in Florida. Christian McCaffrey has nothing to prove. He doesn't show up for these things. All these guys are showing up. Brock Purdy gets his deal done. Warner gets his deal done. Kittle gets his deal. Kittle doesn't show up for these things. He's got the big barn in Nashville. These guys, 6-11 last year was an embarrassment to them. And you're down there all the time. They're serious. And they got an easy schedule. They're going to be good. Unless they have bad injury luck like they had last year. These guys, they were embarrassed by 6-11. And their whole attitude is completely different this year.
I mean, the key factors in an NFL season: quarterback. I think the quarterback's going to have a good year.
Mm-hmm.
The head coach. I think they got a good head coach. And then it goes down to schedule, and it's like they got the easiest schedule I've seen in a long time.
It's ridiculous.
So I do expect them to win 10 games and go to the playoffs and win a playoff game. But I will say this. It's all about
Salah. I mean, you were down there and you asked Salah the question. To me, and look, he doesn't tackle anybody. He doesn't play. But how much better can he make this defense? Because on paper, so many guys have to come through that it's kind of unrealistic. I mean, Mikael Williams, C.J. West, Alfred Collins, Nick Martin, possibly, Single, the kid from Kansas State. I mean, they need a lot of guys, Upton Stout. There's a lot of rookies that 2024 guys have to step up a little bit on that defense. Maybe D. Winters, whatever the case. They need a lot of guys for that defense to step up, because basically they have Bosa, they have Warner, they have Demo Lenore, and then they have a bunch of question marks. So how much can Salah put that together? And he had a great answer to a question somebody asked. In fact, I think you asked the next question. Somebody asked, how's everything going so far? And Salah just said, basically, I'm not saying it verbatim, but he said, well, we haven't had pads on, so that's when we're going to find something out. But he said, B, he goes, we basically have buy-in until we don't. In other words, these guys are all excited, and Warner and Bosa know me, but the rest of these guys don't. And so the minute things start to go south, they're going to start questioning me. And that's the way it works, is that everybody's behind Sala till they're not. Well, Bosa and Warner can tell these guys it works. I'm telling you. But the other 9 guys on defense might go, this guy's full of shit. I don't believe in this. So they're on board, and as long as you're successful, they'll be on board. The minute that you're not, they start questioning you, even if you are Robert Sala and have had a lot of success in this league.
And he was definitely hesitant to say anything concrete about his defensive backs. And it's just, it's like the Niners have 10 new DBs. They have 7 new corners, and I asked him the question, and here it is. You can hear it. Here's Sala. I was asking him about the corners.
7 corners. Here we go. Robert, with the Jets, you had, on the corner, you had, real dudes. You had Sauce and you had Reed, and you have Demo and you have Renardo now, but you brought in 7 corners. Are any of those guys dudes? Are any of those guys opening your eyes at all?
Yeah, well, I feel like from communication, the whole goal into this OTAs was just to see our guys improve from a communication standpoint, execution standpoint, all that. And once we get pads on and it gets real, and you can get a little bit more physical with the receivers, you've got crack replace rules, they're going to be a little bit more involved. We'll have a better idea of who's going to stick and who's not.
Yeah, so I mean,
he's so good at press conferences. By the way, having been in New York, he just said something and said nothing. I mean, you asked him an amazingly good question, and it's like, he was in New York, and he's going to go. You're like, what'd you just say?
Wait
Nothing.
till the pads come on. Basically, is what he's saying.
Yeah, but
which
no,
makes a lot of sense.
You're 100%. I mean, look, I'm nervous as hell about the secondary, which is why I'm glad they got a guy like Huff. I think he's going to be legit, and I think that they're going to have a good pass rush, but they better. Because if you look at this whole thing, Demo Lenore is being pushed out. His best position is in the slot. And because you took Upton Stout in the 3rd round, you got to hope that he pushes inside and can be really good. You got to hope that, Renardo in his 2nd year is even better than he was as a rookie. And then you got 2 injuries at safety, which makes me nervous as hell. And so, I mean, do you think the Kansas State kid's going to start? My biggest thing is, I know a lot of people are talking about Amari Cooper, and we'll get into it a little bit later. And I know we got to go back to Dodgers, Giants, we'll go back to the NBA Finals. But, I'm looking at this whole thing going, I know everybody's talking about Amari Cooper or something like that. But John Lynch gave a very encouraging update today. So I don't know that they need to go out and get a wide receiver. About Ayuk. So I don't know that they need to go get a receiver. But I know they need to go out and either get a corner or a safety. Because that secondary, you're right. They have a lot of numbers. I just don't know if they have enough dudes, as you pointed out.
Bags loaded for the Giants, by the way. 1-1 game, 2 outs in the 3rd. Casey Schmidt at the plate. This is my favorite Giant right now. I love Casey Schmidt.
I like that they're giving him a little runway here. I think with Chapman's injury, I think that Bob Melvin probably sat down with the kid and said, look, man, I don't care if you make an error like he did late in the game against Colorado yesterday. I don't care if you strike out 4 times. You're going to play. And, he had a good series with the bat in Colorado. So, again, as he's up right now, let's see if he can do something here with the base.
He hit in the minor leagues. He just hasn't hit in the majors. Wow, the strike zone. Oof, Yamamoto's getting squeezed. Yeah. Man, Yamamoto throws a slider for a 92-mile-an-hour slider on the outside corner and does not get the call.
But like you said,
bags loaded.
Schmidt hit in college. Schmidt hit in A-ball. Schmidt, he's hit everywhere. And I think it's part of one of those things where it's like, if I make a mistake, I'm getting pulled. Well, I don't know when Chapman's coming back, but the bottom line is it's your job for now.
Oh, Granny. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Casey Schmidt with the grand slam.
You got to be
And
kidding.
It's 5-1 gyros. Woo!
Let's see.
There we go. That's chug time. It is chug time.
Dude, and that's not a bad pitch. Yeah, that was not a bad pitch at all. That thing had bite to it. I'm going to chug right after you do. What if this guy can hit? If Casey Schmidt turns into a hitter, I know he committed, he should have made that play in Colorado yesterday.
Oh, what a swing. He knew it. Yamamoto knew it. Everybody knew it.
Well, watch this pitch, too. It's not like this is a bad pitch.
What was that?
Hang. It was a breaking pitch, but it was going down. It wasn't like he went down and he got it. He went down and he got it, though.
Dude, he saw that thing great.
He must have been sitting on that. Look at this. He must have been sitting on that. See, it's diving. Oh, it was right in the zone. Yamamoto do it too. Look at it. Yamamoto threw his glove. Did you see that? Yamamoto took his glove off, but he was so pissed. That was right in the zone.
Oh, dude, Casey Schmidt's a good dude.
But if he can start hitting, imagine that. Like, the dude's got a glove, you know?
Yeah.
And plus, if he can hit 240, like 232, like Chapman, he's a good defensive player. He can play third, second, short. He can even play some first. I mean, dude, that guy can get a stick going. He's like Adames, had some big hits, had a home run in Colorado. It looks like Melvin said to him, hey, dude, strike out 4 times, you're a third baseman. Boot one in the infield, you're a third baseman. Like, just relax, because that's part of the problem. And these guys, like, I'll put Kuminga into this thing. They look over the bench. They make a mistake. They look over the bench. They think they're going to get pulled. And Melvin said to him, look, man, your job. When Chapman comes back, whatever. But for the next couple of weeks here, doesn't matter what you do. You're our guy. So relax and just play. That was sweet.
Good young player, man.
Hit.
Good young player.
That's a huge hit.
Great defender. He's not Chapman, but he's a great defender.
Here, I owe you one. Here we go. To Casey Schmidt.
Casey freaking Schmidt. Casey went on with Danny on Coach Emilio on his show this offseason. And I was on there with him. We had him on for like an hour.
He's like a dude. And that's the one thing is he's like,
we just
what's up, dude? Like he's like, what's up,
it's so true. I went up to him in spring training. I'm like, hey, what's up, Casey? He's like, hey, what's up, bro? What's going on, man?
He's real laid back.
Yeah, he's laid back. And I said, hey, this is your year, man. I think this is your year. And he's like, one of these years got to be my year. But yeah, he's a cool customer, man. Yes, with the shot in the gap. It's going to the wall. It's going to the wall. And if Yaz had hustled, he would have had 3.
Yeah. Last 4 games for Casey. Look at that. 6 for 14, 429, 2 homers, 7 RBIs. That coincides with Chapman's injury, where I guarantee they sat down with him and just said, bro, it's your job. Go.
Dude, back to your thought before. If you put Rhys Hoskins in this lineup,
oh, dude,
the Giants would win the West.
They could. With this pitching, like I said, and I think that Birdsong's coming around, so now you got 3. Roop is pitching well. That's 4. I don't care the way Rodriguez pitched in Colorado. You got a great 10.
Roop's a great dude, too.
He's legit.
I talked to him in spring training.
Oh, okay. And look at their show. I love the replay of Casey. He knew right when he hit it, didn't he?
Oh, he knew.
He just looked into the dugout.
Everybody knew. Yamamoto was like,
He threw his glove. That was sweet.
That's
dude, that was a sweet reaction. He ripped that ball and he kind of looked into the dugout like he was a 10-year vet. Like, that's what I do. I hit dingers. That's sweet, man.
A couple more supers here. We got this one from Fuji. It's his thoughts on a potential Major League Baseball lockout after 2026
I thought we were
season.
positive on Fridays.
Will owners really go to the mattresses over a salary cap, or will they relent and not pursue? I don't know. I don't think there'll be a work stoppage. There's too much to lose.
It's going to be so hard to put a salary cap in. I mean, you can put things around it and say, you can basically call it a salary cap. That's what the other leagues have done. They've put so many parameters, like the NBA and the NFL and everything. They put so many parameters around things that, like in the NBA, like, okay, you can go over, but this is what it's going to cost you.
Dodgers getting the pen warm, by the way. Yamamoto's only got 8.
This is as bad as Yamamoto's been hit all year.
Well, he's only got 18 strikes in the first 40 pitches.
And they're hitting the ball hard.
He's not throwing his breaking ball. He's not throwing his break ball for a strike.
Well, the one that Casey hit, he wanted to bury that a little bit deeper, but he put it right in the zone.
Yeah.
So that's big.
It was almost like a down and in pitch to a lefty power hitter, except Casey's a righty.
Oh,
he's not getting the corners. He's pitching. Yamamoto's pitching off the corners.
Yeah.
Bay Area JJ need to make a trade at the deadline. Need more hitters. We need to allow the prospects to grow rather than rushing them out there too fast. Yeah. Oh, I totally agree.
Well, and here's the thing too: is there's a couple of interesting things. I was looking at this morning. There's a couple of interesting things going on at AAA. Like you said, Luciano's got 11 home runs, but he's hitting like 215. That's not getting it done. The one thing that's interesting that's going on down there, they're trying to turn Wade Meckler into Super U. So Meckler was playing second base tonight, actually.
Well, he can hit
last night, and he played outfield. And we forgot about him because he hadn't done it for a couple of years. But Meckler, they're trying to turn into a Super U. Eldridge is down there. You got to watch him. I don't know what happened to a guy like Brett Wisely. Remember Wisely came up last year and he had changed his stance a little bit. got off to kind of a hot start, but he's hitting terrible. So, from an organizational depth standpoint, as far as position players, they really, outside of Eldridge, they really don't have anybody. And Meckler's kind of a scrappy type. So, like I said, they're trying to turn him into a Super U, but there's not a lot down there, man. And they're going to have to trade for guys. I mean, really, they don't have a lot down there, at least in the upper minor leagues. Lower minor leagues a little bit better, but the upper minor leagues, rough. It's rough, man.
Finals 97-97 with 4 minutes left.
Jeez.
Pacers up 98-97.
Wow. That is crazy. Crazy.
Wait, there we go. I'll tell you the guy who I thought was disappointing in the finals was Chet Holmgren. I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, he hasn't been good at all.
He's got 14 and 12 tonight, but yeah.
What do we got? Halliburton at the line?
I was going to say, but Halliburton just made a free throw to make it. Oh, yeah, he went. Okay, so it's 99.
Yeah.
99-97. 99-97, 4:17 left to play in NBA's Finals game number 4. 20 off the bench for Caruso. He's basically been the difference tonight. He in 27 for Jalen Williams. I mean, as far as how's Oklahoma City doing this, hanging around in this game, it's Caruso's doing it off the bench. Siakam's got 20. Miles Turner's got 12, 10 for Nembhard, and 16 for Halliburton right now. So 17 for Obi Toppin. But, give you an example. Matherin, who had a fantastic game 3, he only has 7 points. He's only played 13 minutes. He's only taken 2 shots.
Yeah, that's not good.
And he was a lottery pick. So
doesn't that drive you crazy? Like, if you suck, that's fine. If you're great, that's fine. But I just need to know what I get from you. And you can't go from 27 one night to nothing. It's a killer.
Little consistency. I mean, the thing about this NBA Finals, if a lot of people comparing the Warriors to Indiana or to OKC, that they're similarly constructed, and I get that. But you know what? The Warriors could have taken that game one, that game one staggering, 20-point choke job. And because they have Kerr, because they have Steph, because they have Draymond, they could have circled the wagons with Andre Iguodala, and they could have withstood that. But this OKC team, I don't think is going to be able to withstand that game 1 loss.
No, I don't disagree with you, because the thing is that when you've done it, and you hear Draymond say it, you hear Steph say it, it's like anything in life. I've done it. It's okay. I can come back. They haven't done it before. So the reason why teams that are so good, that have won championships, are so hard to put away is like, okay, we've been down 3-1. We've been in a hole before. We know what it takes. I think that Oklahoma City could be a dynasty, but the thing is you got to win that first one to get that championship swag. Like, for example, I hate playing Denver in the playoffs. They've won a championship. Then a lot of their players have, and they might not be the greatest team, but they've got kind of a swag, and they know what it takes. Jamal Murray seems to step up. Jokic does. They've got that swag. If you gave Oklahoma City with all that talent and you added a championship swag, they're going to be good for a lot of years. But right now, as you pointed out, I think that they came out last game thinking, okay, we got this thing after they righted the ship in game 2. And I think they thought they were going to come out here tonight. But I don't know if you saw earlier, they hadn't had an NBA Finals game for 25 years there. All these old Pacers
fired up.
There. Exactly. Reggie Miller's sitting courtside, like Travis Best, Dale Davis, like all these old Pacers are hanging. It's a Midwest Indiana basketball is everything there. The fans are going bonkers. Like, I don't think Oklahoma City, this young team, thought that they were going to have this much to deal with. And they thought like Indiana's just going to just lay down for this thing. We're not just going to give you a championship. Oklahoma City's the better team. But like you said, they're not going to just hand it to them. And if they go up 3-1, this thing's over, man. You're not coming back 3-1. It doesn't happen.
No, they're just too young. They're too young.
Yeah.
And Chet acted like, he was going to somehow wind up with a ring on his finger, just like accidentally. And like, bro, it ain't happening that way. It's not going to happen that way. You're going to have to really, really earn it if you're going to get it done. And I just think that he's, if you look at this team, they're all babies. The coach is 40.
Right.
These guys are all in their early 20s. So it's hard to get it done. For every Joe Montana and Tom Brady who's icy, there's a lot of guys that have to learn how to make it.
Well, I think it takes that, and that's the one thing. And I remember Dan Marino. He lost that Super Bowl to the 49ers, and he said this publicly. I thought I was going to go back there every single year. You just don't know. And so, like Oklahoma City, that's a really good team, and I think they could be on the verge of dynasty. But you kind of have to get that championship to give you that swag. And if Indiana were to beat them, and let's say that Durant, like the big rumor is Durant's going to the Spurs. All right, Oklahoma City's a great team. I'm not saying they're not. But you put Victor with Durant, with Fox, with Stephon Castle, Oklahoma City's not – they might not go back to the finals next year. That might be the Spurs. And then all of a sudden Sam Presti's got to panic, and he trades some young guys for a dumb trade, and, he's not patient, and all of a sudden Oklahoma City never wins that title. I mean, think about that team they had. They had Durant, they had Harden, they had Westbrook, they had Serge Ibaka. I mean, they had Steven Adams. That team should have won a championship. They didn't.
Yeah.
So nothing's guaranteed. And they're a smaller market team. So when these guys start getting paid, are they going to be able to keep everybody? I mean, it's just, you had that chance to win a championship, and here's Indiana going, ain't going to get handed to you, man.
No. And it's not automatic. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that feel like the Lions in the NFL are going to get that ring, but you know what? I don't know if it's going to happen.
That's a great call.
If I had to bet that it's whether it's going to happen or not happen, I'm betting that it is not going to happen.
Well, think about what happened with the Lions. You hit it right on the head here. So they get close against the Niners, had that first half. Niners come back against them. They don't get to that Super Bowl. Everybody thought they were going to get there this year. And then in this offseason, they lose their offensive coordinator, their defensive coordinator. We've seen it here in San Francisco. That's not easy to replace.
They had a marginal draft,
right?
And
then you start picking at your players who are going to get paid, and then it's a hard process.
Very hard to climb to the top of the mountain. Very hard.
By the way,
even the 49ers. Look at the 49ers.
Yeah, 5-1. Yaz just made a great catch on a long drive by Freeman. 5-1, thanks to the Casey Schmidt Grand Slam, and it's 101-97 Indiana with 3:50 left in that one. So we got a bunch going on.
Yeah, we got a bunch going on. I'm watching this Pacers game because I got money on the Pacers. Flip over to the Giants. But I got to see.
Money takes precedence over all.
Taking
money over all.
I like Casey Schmidt. I love my cash.
Exactly. It's bottom of the pint, and it's a huge game between the Dodgers and the Giants. But if Krueger has money in the finals, that's what we're talking about.
I like Logan Webb. I love greenbacks.
Yes. Exactly.
All right. Fuji Simeon has a question here. He says, who are your Giants all-stars for the All-Star game?
Good question.
I would say, Wilmer Flores has just been awesome. I don't know, but I don't know if he's been awesome enough, but he's been the engine so much for the year. I would say I'd probably give a vote for him, a vote for Randy Rodriguez.
Be tough to say no Rodriguez his ERA went from 0.64 to 0.80, so I didn't check this morning, but he was number one among relievers before the ninth inning yesterday. But between Halliburton down the stretch is money. I would say Logan Webb's probably up there. Robbie Ray's got to get consideration.
I might be behind, unless
you'll like this. Like
one-hander. Yeah,
that was nice. Rodriguez.
103.99. Pacers up with about 3 minutes to play. Fans all on their feet.
Not like that one. But I think they've got three pitchers. Do they have a position player? Like I said, Flores has been good, but there's so much competition. First base, DH. Who else would be there? Ramos made it last year, and I think he's played even better this year. To be honest with you.
Yeah, Ramos looks great.
He's been great. But, I think, if Rodriguez settles back in, and then Logan Webb's been there before, so I can't believe that somebody wouldn't say Logan Webb would be an all-star, at least two pitchers off that staff, right? If not three. Robbie Ray,
non-closers sometimes get
that's a good
down.
point.
Non-closers sometimes.
You don't have the save numbers.
It's 103-102. Pacers up 1 with 2:20 to play. And Shea just walked and didn't get called and just hit a jumper. So now OKC's up by 1.
He took 4 steps on that baseline jumper. So 4. Bad. Either you call a foul on Neesmith, who bumped him.
1, 2,
4.
3.
4 steps.
At least 4.
They don't call it about traveling. Steve Kerr be going bonkers because he got bumped and it took him off his spot and he took 4 steps and then took a baseline jumper wide open. It's like, well, no kidding.
Dude, he took 4 steps.
And
either call the foul or call the walk. It can't be just nothing.
Right. It took
so
4
what
steps.
would they have if he had missed the shot? Would they have called?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. That's so weak. The one thing I can't stand NBA officiating.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, they can't stand NBA officiating. One of the interesting stories in the NFL that I'm following is this Shamar Stewart story.
Oh my God, this
Bengals.
thing is crazy.
And to me, if I'm the Niners, man, like if you said to me, what's the Niners' biggest issue? Like biggest questions, like my biggest fears for the 49ers on June 13th, I would say it's the health of Christian McCaffrey, even though he's healthy now.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that would be number one concern. My number 2 concern would still be not the run D, not the separation by wide receivers, not special teams. I would say my number, outside of Christian being hurt, I would say the number 1 thing is pass rush. Still pass rush. Can the Niners put together pass rush? And if I could get Shamar Stewart, I would absolutely get Shamar Stewart. Now, I understand Trey Hendrickson makes $35 million a year, so you can't afford Trey Hendrickson. But Shamar Stewart's on his rookie deal. And if he's bad-mouthing the Bengals
You saw that interview the other day, right? I don't know how he can go back in there. Like, I give the kid a ton of credit because he was very honest. First of all, on the Bengals, I don't make him available to the media. But second of all, if people saw this interview, I mean, he was basically just saying that essentially the Bengals are shit. I mean, the kid's just killing the Bengals.
In the Bengals locker room.
In the locker room. And then his agent, I'm sure, said, get out of there because you're going to get, it's going to get ugly. But for those who are not in the know, there's just some language in, God dang, Willie Adames almost hit another home run. 5-1 end of 4. He smoked that pitch. And it's getting late in Chavez Ravine, so that ball died. But
OKC's got a 1-point lead in the finals over Indiana, though Lou Dort just bricked a free throw, like the worst I think I've ever seen an NBA player brick a free throw. I mean, I think the backboard could be broken.
But
so they're up 2. It's 105-103. OKC on top of Indiana by 2.
Oh, airball. But Shamar Stewart, 17th overall pick, Texas A&M, needs to be in there. Tons of talent, not a lot of production. And he's sitting there just bashing them and in the locker room. And look, it's simple language, but if it doesn't get worked out, like you said, he can sit out the whole year and go back into the draft next year and the Bengals get nothing. It's not like baseball where, okay, you took a guy and you get a comp pick because he didn't sign with you. You get nothing. So I would imagine that the leverage is with the player, but we're talking about Mike Brown and the Bengals. So like you said, I'm sure there's teams calling him. I mean, would you have to give up a 1 though? Like next year's 1? And that's
I don't think so. I mean, I think you could probably give up 2 2s or, maybe a couple 2s and a player or something like that. I mean, I don't know that they have great leverage right now, but either way, to me, Shamar Stewart, I would be interested in him. Why? Because he could play inside on passing downs.
He's a hybrid guy. He can play in or out.
He's a hybrid.
And so now you're looking at your defensive line, and he's far different than what you have inside, which is you just got 2 pluggers who hopefully can keep guards, interior offensive linemen off of your linebackers, especially a small guy like Nick Martin who's fast. You want to keep him off those guys. The way it's going to go right now, and you and I have talked about this, Bryce Huff's going to be on the outside on 3rd down. I think they're going to move Mikael Williams to the inside for like their turbo package. But, look, when the 49ers are great, it's along the defensive line. So, yeah, if I could give up 2 2s, Krug, I'd do that in a heartbeat. Like, you want 2 2s, and I don't know, who do you want? What player do you want?
Robert Beal. You want Robert Beal and 2 2s? There you go.
Yeah, whatever.
I would do it because Shamar Stewart doesn't cost you a lot of money.
No.
And he can rush inside. He can rush outside.
Yeah.
You would have 2 big edge-setting ends, and the Niners want to invest in their defensive line. To me, I think he's a really, really good player. I know a lot of people think because he didn't sack the quarterback at A&M very much that he's not good, but you didn't watch A&M football. He's really good. They lined him up, like as a 4-eye at sometimes. Sometimes they lined him up as a 3 technique inside. I mean, they moved him around. Guy was 290 pounds.
We got 107, 103 with about 35 seconds. Indiana's got to score on this possession. They're down 4.
Seriously, I cannot believe this. This is just an unbelievable gag. Indiana.
Miles Turner just bricked a 3.
Unbelievable gag.
Yeah, Indiana had them. And they would have had a 3-1 lead in the series.
But not only that, not only they're not going to win, they're not going to cover.
Oh, you might get the cover here. It's 4. You might get the cover.
But I need a bucket. I need 1 bucket.
Right. What do you have? 6? Is that what you have?
6.
Yeah, we got to get.
I have 6. Can I get 1 bucket, please?
Yeah. They just.
If I get the push, I'm gonna puke.
All of a sudden, they just. Wait, you got Mather's in the line for 2.
Seriously,
you're gonna get the cover. Now, whether they win, I don't know, but you're gonna get the cover.
They haven't made a shot for like 5 minutes.
By the way, the baseball game 5-1 Giants thanks to a Casey Schmidt granny. 5-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Logan Webb in the game against Will Smith. So that's what we got. We're keeping up to date.
Oh, he bricks the free throw.
Are you kidding?
He bricked the free throw. Come on. Jesus.
It's one thing, Giants Dodgers, but when you're watching someone live,
come on,
money,
man.
That's different.
Come on.
Money's a different ball game, man.
Come on.
Throwing money down. It's
Matherin. Make a free throw. It's called a free throw.
That's an Arizona guy. Tex Tolbert. Like, didn't you guys work on free throws in Tucson? What the hell's wrong with you?
He missed them both.
Come on, man.
And they fouled Chet. So now they're going to go up 109, 103. That's 6.
All I had to do was hit the 2, and you're pretty much golden at that point.
2 free throws, and I'm golden.
That's it. It's the 2 free throws. You're going to cover that thing, man.
There's no way.
Teoscar Hernandez at the plate. Wait, Logan Webb, by the way, is dealing.
What
today.
A gag by Indiana! Oh my God, what a gag! And how good are these? How good are these odds makers, by the way?
They're ridiculous.
I mean,
this happens every damn game.
It's
good.
Pacers. It's OKC by 6. They were down by 15 in the third quarter. They were down by 12.
They would have been up 3-1. Webb is dealing.
At this point, I don't even care about the win. Just get the cover.
Exactly, dude. When you're talking money, win Schmin. Let's go, man. You got to get the cover.
I don't even think I'm going to get the cover. They're going to go with some wild shot.
Hell, like you said, even if he hits one of those free throws, man.
One of those free throws, and I'm probably golden. He misses both.
Oh, my God. Time flies. You remember this? I know you do. When Matt Cain hit the long drives off of home plate. That was June 13th, 2012. I remember that.
I was there.
You were there at that?
Yeah, I was there that day.
That's crazy. That seems like yesterday.
Sabian let him hit drives from home plate into the McCovey Cove because they had a couple pro golfers in town.
That was amazing.
He went out, and his stuff was so nasty that night.
Oh, the Giants get out of it with a double play. Go to the top of the 5th. All right. More importantly, back to the basketball game. This is actually great. This is great theater.
Come on, man.
So we got 107, 103, 23 seconds left. Krug needs the cover.
I got Pacers getting the 6. They're down right now 4. But Caruso's inbounding the ball. A 2, and we're tied. What happened?
They called a
foul.
Oh, you know what? Look. You're gonna hate this.
Carlisle's pissed.
No, because Matherin held Shea Gilgeous, so it's two free throws in the ball.
No, it isn't.
It is on a foul on an inbound.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
It's 2 in the ball.
That's the game. That's it right there.
You know what? That's a ticky-tack call. You don't make that call at that point.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable. That's the cover.
It's 1 in the ball. Sorry, it's 1 in the ball. So it's now a 5-point lead.
5-point
lead.
They got to.
They're on a 9-0 run. OKC's on a
9-0. Oh my God. And even though Indiana could drive down and get a layup, they won't.
You could be all right. You could clear.
Probably shoot some 3.
They got to stop him here. Oh, they got a tip. Oh, Matherin's got it. Oh, that's a foul. Okay, can Matherin hit free throws for you?
He just missed the last two. It's Matherin again.
Matherin to the line for 2.
You're a little bit ahead of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, Matherin here, take it. Oh, it was a steal.
Yeah, you're like this. But he's got to hit the free throws for you.
Oh, my God. Jalen Williams hit the ground hard.
You got to hit the free throws for you. So you got the tip.
Matherin misses 4 free throws.
You should text Tom. You should call Tom live on the air and ask him if they ever practice free throws in Tucson.
If he makes the 2, it's 108-105.
Oh, my God. He's the worst free throw shooter in history.
Don't even tell me. I'm behind you. Oh, my God.
Dude, he's Shaq at the line right now. He's so bad.
What?
I'm telling you, I wouldn't even be mad at you. I wouldn't even be mad at you.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
This guy is seriously killing you. Okay, finally got one.
Oh, God.
Dude, that guy is killing you. Okay, so it's 4 and you got 6. It should be 3. Hell, he should have made the other one. It should be 1. It should be a 1-point game. I'd take that guy out.
He makes the last one?
Yeah.
But it was ugly.
I mean, really brutal.
Squeezing it like a grape.
By the way, does Rick Carlisle have the worst shaved head look of all time? He looks terrible. Like some people can pull off the shaved head. He looks terrible. At least go tanning or something or put some stuff in your head. Look, guy looks terrible.
I'll never comment on another man's head for fear of the future.
But a lot of guys can pull off the shaved head. Like Robert Saleh. Pull that Robert Saleh cut you out of. Robert Saleh. I can't even imagine Robert Saleh with hair. Like Robert Saleh looks amazing.
It's like Kelly Savalas or something.
Yeah, he looks great. Tan, in shape. Rick Carlisle? The angry Jim Carrey? He looks terrible.
So now he got another 1 free throw. Why is he getting 1 free throw? It's a 5-point game.
Oh,
God, they get 5. Oh, my God.
They almost had the steal there. 5-point game. This is amazing for you.
This is just ridiculous. And OKC's got the ball. And they're going to foul him.
Spread. They got to foul
Siakam.
him.
Oh, no, Siakam.
He almost got it. By the way, Giants up 5-1. If you tuned into Bottom of the Pint, 5-1. Giants lead. Casey Schmidt with a granny. Dominic Smith at the plate against Yamamoto. Top of 5. Runner on first.
I stupidly bet NBA ball. So now
I'm feeling good about you. Even though if I was you, I would go punch Ben Matherin right in the face because you would have easily covered this. He missed 3 free throws in like the last 30 seconds. You'd easily have
filed Gilgeous Alexander, so he's going to make 2. That's going to make it 7. They're up 7.
Makes free throws. If Ben Matherin makes free throws,
they're up 7.
It's a 2-point game right now. Like, it's ridiculous.
If he makes both these free throws, they're covering. Unbelievable.
Yeah, maybe
7 seconds left. I'm going to have 1 shot.
No, this is what bad beats are all about.
And nobody's going to care.
No, they're good. Of course, he made it. The end.
Oh, you know he's going to make it.
Ramos got thrown out at the plate.
So now we're pushing at 110-104. But there's 7 seconds left. Will they even bother with the timeout?
Yeah.
Will they just go with the layup?
Oh, they didn't. I don't want to ruin it for you.
Jinx it.
I cannot believe this.
Son of a...
I cannot believe this.
Unbelievable! That is unbelievable.
A 7-point win. What was the end? I mean, they went on like a 15-16-2 to finish the game.
That was unbelievable.
Indiana had them. They had them.
What a gag job by Indiana.
Oh my God, they just lost the finals. Because you're going back to OKC now. OKC wins that game. They're going to win the title. Indiana had them.
I had Pacers by 6. They were up 13. I was up 19.
I was spending your money.
I was up 19 in the 4th. And lost by 1 point.
Guy says no.
God damn.
Somebody says no ribeyes for Larry this weekend. Yeah, you guys are gonna have like ribeyes on the grill. Now you guys are having burgers.
Son of a
Pacers.
That is just maddening, man.
You did it right on the
That
head,
is
man.
maddening.
Vegas just is like, well, we have a 6-point spread. It finishes at 7, and Indiana had them. I mean, that was ridiculous.
I hope Indiana loses now.
I know. That's ridiculous.
Oh, here we go. Wilmer Flores, deep drive. Oh, no. Thought it was a deep try.
That was brutal, dude. I feel really bad for you there.
Dude, that's the second worst beat I've had on the air.
That was terrible.
Did you ever? I don't know if you ever heard because you were on probably opposite me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was doing a show with Ratty. First round of the NCAA tournament, 2012. Michigan is playing Texas in the first round.
Oh, dude, I do remember this.
And I forget what it was, but I was basically up 4, and there was no time left, hardly at all. And the guy for Texas dribbles all the way down and lays it in. And Gary's like this. He's like, I'm like, oh, I go, oh no, we're up 4. And there's 5 seconds left. He's like, yeah, you're home. Yeah, you're home. You're gonna cover easy.
Gary's outstanding.
You're gonna cover. I go, Gary, shut up, Gary. I'm like, I go, he's got the ball. He's going in the front court. He's gonna drive the lane. Nobody's gonna stop this guy. He lays it in. I'm like, oh my God. And then Gary goes, what happened? Did you not cover? And the door in the studio, there's doors and then there's radio studio doors.
Right. They're made out of metal.
Radio studio doors. I don't know what they're made of, but they're
thick.
It's like a vault.
Yeah.
It's a gigantic door, and it has like a vacuum seal. So like if you open it, it goes, and if you close it, it's,
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, but it's heavy. I mean, if you get your hand caught in the studio door, your hand is not good. Your hand is no longer on your arm.
No kidding.
So I slam that door so hard, and you can hear it through the microphones. Through the microphones, you can hear this boom. He's like, and Gary goes, "Whoa! I've never heard anybody slam the door that hard in here." I'm like, and then people started calling up, "Gary, you jinxed it."
Totally.
Gary, you
when you
jinxed
say you
it.
got it. When you say it's like home, like going up,
you're home. You got it.
Not until it's
You've
over.
covered. You got it.
Your Gary's tremendous.
I think Kate Scott might have ripped him. Even it was good. It was good stuff.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Because, like you said, going into they had a 7-point lead going into the fourth, and then with 2-3 minutes left, it's a really close game. So you're thinking to yourself, well, first of all, Indiana looks like they're going to win, but second of all, you're at least going to cover easy.
Unbelievable. Fuji Simeon says, "Sorry, Larry. What would you say to Matherin after this?
Missed 3 free throws in the final 30 seconds.
You know what I would say? I would say, hey, Benedict. Guess what? I coached 5th grade basketball in the 90s, and I had a 5th grader get fouled in the backcourt of a tie game in overtime, and with his freaking freshman and high school girlfriend sitting in the stands, he stepped to the free throw line and made both. Both. 5th grade. He was a 5th grader who got fouled in the backcourt with the city championship on the line, went to the free throw line and made both. And you missed 3 out of 4.
I think I probably had 6 beers tonight. I could go to the free throw line and, do better than he did. He went 1 for 4 in the last 30 seconds. Come on, man.
You know what's funny? When I was playing freshman basketball at St. Ignatius, we had this coach that was just such a stickler for form. And my brother is 6'5", right? And he's 5 years older. So where do you think I release the ball? When I shoot the ball, I don't shoot it. I don't shoot it down here. I don't shoot it right here. I shoot it here. I shoot the ball up here because that's the only way I could shoot it over my brother because he would block my shot all the time. So I got used to shooting the ball high. And they told me when I went to basketball camp, hey, that's good. Most kids have to shoot it from their hip. The fact that you have strong enough hands and wrists to shoot it up there at 11, 12, that's good. I remember freshman year basketball, Matt Barmore, the basketball coach.
I love that you're calling him out.
Unbelievable. This guy yelled at me all season for my basketball free throw shooting form.
Right.
And when we got to the end of the year banquet, he's like, I couldn't believe this, but Krueger was 12 for 12 from the free throw line this year. I yelled at him all season about his free throws. He hit 12. He hit 12 free throws. He shot 12. He made 12. Like, thank you.
He's trying to
Thank you.
He's trying to change your form.
Yeah, he's trying to change my form the entire season. I wouldn't go for it. I stepped to the line. I made them all. And he's like, you know what? I guess if you make them, you can shoot them any way you want to shoot them.
Yeah, they're
Mike, thank you.
By the way, Yamamoto out. Mike Yastrzemski on first and second, 2 out in the 5th. So Yaz here could blow this whole thing open.
Oh, he just grounded out. So I'm behind you in the NBA game, but I'm ahead of you in the
Giants.
How's that working out?
I don't know.
How could that be? You were literally.
You know what's funny? I switched it over on the TV, so I was watching it. So the TV I'm ahead, and the on the iPad I'm behind. Screw this whole thing up.
I probably would say to Matherin, "Hey Matherin, you suck."
Yeah.
Fuji Simeon, boo SI basketball, Larry, but respect to Bob Drucker, the late Bob Drucker, the late great Bob Drucker, who's a fantastic guy. Anthony Catania is in the house from Sharp Corners Sports Cards and Collectibles, who we were shouting at earlier. Check them out, 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California.
Check him out. I got a good card collection.
Anthony Catania, 831-521-5264, and he's a great follow on Instagram at Sharp Corners 831 on the gram, as the kids like to say. He says barbecuing some Italian sausage here on vacation, watching the show.
Good.
Love the show. Give them both a like and follow. Thank you, Anthony.
Good
Appreciate
man.
That.
Dude, that sounds good.
Dude, I know. Seriously,
barbecue of the sausage
I did that last week, Johnny. I went to my son's working at Lenardi's.
Right? Oh, I know where that in Walnut Creek, right up north.
Yeah. So you know how Lenardi's has they've got tons of different sausages.
Oh yeah.
So I go there and I'm like, you know what? I go, let me get 2 bratwurst.
Oh, I love those.
Let me get 2 of the Italian spicy. Let me get 2 of the Italian mild. Let me get 2 of the Polishes. Let me get 2 of the
baseball right there.
The sausage links. Let me get 2 of the chicken apples. I mean, I basically got
crazy.
Yeah, we had I've got kids. I mean, seriously, I made hamburgers
you got boys.
Dude, I made hamburgers the other night, Johnny. And I was going to this. I told you I was going to that graduation party. Right. So I had my 2 teenagers home, my 19-year-old and my 15-year-old. I made 14 cheeseburgers.
Come on,
14 cheeseburgers. I went to the Safeway. I got that mega meat, that mega pack.
Right.
You know, that's just ridiculous. It's like a big gigantic rectangle. I made 14 monster burgers. Right? Got them cooked perfect with just a little pink in the middle, cheeseburger, sharp cheddar on the top. I come back. I go, eat as many as you want, guys. Come back. I go I go upstairs. I see my 19-year-old. I go, hey, man, you guys really went to town, man.
Some damage.
I go, there's only 6 burgers left. You guys ate 8 burgers. And he goes, I go, how many did you have? He goes, I had 5.
What?
5. My 19-year-old had 5 hamburgers. And he's lean, dude. He's lean. He's got like a washboard stomach. He had 5 hamburgers with buns and like fixins and like lettuce and tomato and onions and yes,
5 burgers.
He ate 5 fully dressed burgers.
That's not like mini White Castles. That's not like McDonald's.
No, these are
cheeseburgers.
These were
right. These are burgers.
These were more than half pounders.
Dude, I wish, man. If I had a wish, it might be
the
that.
Guy ate 2.5 pounds of chuck.
Seriously, that you could go back to 19 and just eat whatever you want, and you could still be lean and look good and all that kind of stuff. Because my metabolism when I was young, I was one of those guys who could eat whatever I wanted, and then you hit like 30 or 35, something like that, and then it's just everything stuck to your stomach, and it's like
I can have like a tuna salad now and put on 7 pounds.
Like it would be so amazing to be able to do that. Like, Dad, I just ate 5 burgers. And you know what? I'm going to wake up in the morning. I won't have gained an ounce. I mean, that's the best. You go to an ice cream joint. You go to wherever. You eat whatever you want.
Eat whatever you want. Eat like whenever you want. Whatever you want. As much as you want.
Seriously, that's like a superpower. Like, I tell you what, for the first 25 years of your life, you can eat whatever you want. After that, best of luck. But, like, you could just mow. Like, 19, you could, like you said, he mowed 5 burgers. Dude, if I mowed 5
burgers,
I'd be in bed for 5 days. Like, there would just be like, no way. I'd be pregnant. I mean, it'd just be like, that's what it would be like.
I mean, I sometimes I'll do ribs. I'll get like 4 slabs of ribs. These kids will go through like 9 ribs each.
Your grocery bill has got to be ridiculous. I mean, 5 burgers, like you said, with like a big, homemade burger, all the fixins. Like that's, you eat one of those, you're like, that's good.
When my daughter's boyfriend, who's I have 3 boys, right? I have 15-year-old, 19-year-old, and then I've got Kev. Kev's like 23.
Yeah.
I got a daughter who's 1 year older. When her boyfriend, who's also a huge dude, he's like probably 6'4", when he comes over, when I hear he's coming over, when I just get word that he's going to be in the neighborhood, I just head off to the market.
Damn.
I just go to the grocery store because I can't make enough, dude. I cannot make enough.
You did all those burgers, and then you were saying you went up to Lenardi's and you you had a bunch of sausages too.
Well, no, that was the burger night. But another night,
totally
I did sausages, and it's like, as I said, I did like 15 different. I probably did like 7 or 8 different kinds of sausages. I probably did 2 or 3 of each.
Like that's baseball. Like, man.
By the way, we have people showing interest in being a sponsor of Bottom of the Pint.
Very nice.
So we may have a sponsor in the next couple of weeks.
Quality show. I mean, there's just no question.
We got this one. Fuji Simeon says, growing up, Larry, did you ever go to Seeker in the Richmond district in San Francisco? Amazing Polish deli, amazing sausage and horseradish. No, never went to Seeker. Oh, I wish I felt like I missed out on something.
Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah, there's a lot of places in the city that I do.
Oh, dude. Well, KMBR studios are right in North Beach. I mean, you walk, it's an uphill thing, so I'm not walking it. But I mean, you throw a stone, you could hit 10 amazing delis.
One of my favorite deli in the city is, I like the one on California and Fillmore. It's called Calmart. It's called Molly Stone's. It's Molly Stone's Market.
I know you're at. Yep.
And they make just the most amazing sandwiches in there. That's a great spot. I'll tell you, burrito-wise, Gordo in the city. I'll hit Gordo on Geary Street. But then there's the burrito spot that I love is in Oakland, in Montclair. The Taqueria in Montclair is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Man.
If I ever driving through Montclair, sometimes if I got time, if it's middle of the day or whatever, I'll head over there and grab a burrito.
Now I'm getting hungry.
But food is so expensive these days.
Oh,
a burrito used to be like $5, $8. A burrito now is like $17.50.
Oh, dude! What was the cut? There was a during the pandemic.
Northern California, by the way,
right?
$17.50 for a burrito in Northern California.
After the pandemic, prices went up or whatever, and there was a couple of shops in San Francisco, and the news was doing a story on them, and they had to raise their prices on their burritos. And I remember they were talking. This was during the pandemic. And they were saying, right after it, and they were saying like, yeah, we had to raise our prices up to like $15. I'm like, $15? You get like a giant burrito, like you said, it's like $20. It's just like, that's just a few years ago. Like, oh my God, we had to raise it to 15. I remember I used to get them for like $7, $8, and now it's like,
well, it's like a movie, $7 or $8. Dude. Now it's $15, $20.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm reading online about the Giants and the Diamondbacks maybe hooking up on a trade. Someone says if Arizona becomes sellers, first baseman Josh Naylor would be a great fit for the Giants. I'll go further than that. I think Pavin Smith would be a good get for the Giants. Another good line drive hitter, hits for a good average, good on base percentage. Giants don't need tons, as you can tell.
Arizona's done. Unless Arizona wants to really make it in my favor, losing Corbin Burns, they're done. Right, look, that's a nice young team. They've got some athletes. Corbin Carroll has bounced back and had a really nice year. They've got some pieces, but the Corbin Carroll thing, that's like the Giants losing Logan Webb. I mean, he's a big innings eater. He's a badass. He's a number one. If the Giants had that same thing happen, that's what it would do. Could you imagine how devastating that would be to the Giants to have that kind of a guy? It's not only Logan Webb as great as he is, but every time out, like yesterday, they used a ton of guys in the pen in Colorado. Colorado crushes your bullpen. Logan Webb comes out here tonight, and he's going to go 7 or 8 innings. I mean, he just saves your ass every time he pitches. So it's the same thing. Like, you lose Corbin Burns, that's a horse, man. and they're done. I mean, it's flat out. They spent $245 million on him, or 219 or whatever it was. They're not the Yankees. They're not the Dodgers. They can't turn around and go, okay, we'll just replace the guy. It's not possible. They're not going to be able to do that. They'll try to get an arm at the deadline, but this thing just went from, okay, Arizona's in this thing, to the division, at least. It's Dodgers, Padres, Giants. There is no Arizona. They might as well be Colorado. They're not doing anything. That was a killer. That's a killer injury.
It's just not their year. I mean, they went to the World Series a couple of years ago. They invested in some really good pitching, but it just doesn't seem like it's their year. And now with the Corbin Burns injury, there's talk that they're going to be a seller in a couple of weeks. So we'll see. I don't know if you've watched any. Have you watched any of the UFL?
A little bit, yeah. I'd like to see it, just because who's going to come out of the league. To see if there's some guys that could be on some NFL teams. Yeah, I watch it.
Well, a guy that I always liked when he was in college is Bryce Perkins, quarterback for Virginia, and
I know who you're talking about.
He just got the MVP of the UFL, premier player in the league, former Ram quarterback. He plays for the Michigan Panthers, UFL MVP for 2025. Played in 5 games for the Rams in the 2022 season.
I remember.
And didn't do much in the NFL, but played in 7 of the Panthers' 10 regular season matchups. Completed 109 of 158 for 1,342 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks, 108.7 rating. Pretty athletic. He also ran for 269 yards and 5 touchdowns. Interesting.
I wish they'd make this a developmental league. Like a guy like Trey Lance should be playing in that league. I know he signed with the Chargers, ironically enough, which is the team that ended his career during those camps. But they need to strike some kind of a deal. Even if it's spring ball or whatever, put your young guys in there. Like Seattle's got Jalen Monroe. How's he going to get better? He's unless Sam Darnold falls on his face or something. But then they have Drew Lock. Like, I'd love to see young quarterbacks playing a league like that, wouldn't you? Develop. See what they can do.
Yeah, there's no developmental league. There's no developmental ability. Trey Lance.
How does Trey Lance get better?
Yeah, how do you get better unless you've got a league
right there? You got a league, and there's a guy like Bryce Perkins who gets reps because he's not under contract, so he goes and plays in that league. I get it that they're playing in the spring and then they'd have to turn around and play in camp. But if I'm a young quarterback, if I'm Trey Lance, for example, and I can't get reps, I'd love to be able to go to that league and say, let me play some games and let me get some reps, because you and I have had this conversation a million times. Like, how does Trey Lance get better? How does Jalen Monroe, who just got drafted by Seattle, get better? How does, there's a number of, how does even a guy like Justin Fields, who the Jets think is going to be all that, he's a great runner. He still hasn't learned how to, the intricacies of the passing game in the NFL. It's the most important position in sports, it by far. And yet they have no way to develop quarterbacks. And the only way you can do it is like Brock Purdy did. You play 4 years at Iowa State, but those guys who come out early, Zach Wilson's an example. That whole draft that Trey was taken in, other than Trevor Lawrence, all those guys didn't play enough snaps, and they needed to play more.
By the way, I'm looking online. There's this fantasy football late round quarterbacks to draft. Tell me, of these 3 guys, who do you think's the best fantasy player this year? Drake May with the Patriots, Bryce Young with the Panthers, or Geno Smith with the Raiders?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. I think Geno, although, knowing Pete Carroll there, and this as well as I do, Ashton Genty is going to get run into the ground, but they've got Brock Bowers. They've got, they're going to throw it enough, but Bryce Young, they did draft, the McMillan kid out of Arizona in the first round, so they're trying to get a little bit better. So, that's not going to be so bad. But, man, it's tough. I would think Geno Smith, he's established. He liked playing with Pete Carroll, but the Raiders are going to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So I would take him, but knowing that they're going to run the ball a lot.
I was thinking maybe Drake May. I love that Washington State receiver.
Kyle Williams.
They got. Yeah,
nice.
He's pretty good. He's
underrated. So. I don't know why he didn't get taken before. He's got good size. He ran a 4.4 flat at the 40 at the combine. If anybody watched him play, he can really play. That would be my only concern with him, is I really like him, and they still have guys like Kendrick Bourne or whatever, but do they have enough weapons Because you know what? The thing is, when you're talking fantasy, New England's going to be behind. I mean, they got a decent defense, but New England's going to be behind. So, he's going to get numbers.
One of the big questions, I think, with the 49ers, it's funny, we talked to CMC the other day. Logan Webb just struck out Ohtani on a pretty nasty pitch. A little backdoor breaking ball.
He's in the sixth inning, and he's only thrown 76 pitches. I mean, that's what I mean is, he gives your bullpen a break. They're up 5-1, and the Dodgers have just joined us, Casey Schmidt, with the grand slam tonight. But Logan Webb is like, okay, we know we can burn our bullpen in Colorado because Logan Webb's going to give us 7 at least. I mean, like you just said, that was a nasty pitch to Ohtani. He had no chance.
I mean, Logan Webb looks really good right now. I mean, Logan Webb's kind of proof that it's not about how hard you throw. Right. It's about what kind of movement you have on your pitches.
Plus, he's changed. He's like he used to throw the changeup so much, and he's throwing the changeup less. He's throwing some different off-speed pitches more. He's really turned into a really good. I mean, not just a thrower. He's a really good pitcher.
One of the things I wanted to get to, I got a bunch of different thoughts I wanted to get to, things I had jotted down, but what do you make of what's going on with Golden State? You think Kuminga stays? You think Kuminga leaves? I saw a rumor the other day that had the Warriors trading Kuminga in a deal to the Bulls for Kobe White in the 12th pick in the draft. And I like Kuminga. I'm a Kuminga fan, but Kobe White is much more of an established scorer. The 12th pick might be. I
would have thought the Warriors would have to give up a pick. I mean, Kobe White is a lot better than Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, but see, the Bulls want to get bigger. The Bulls want to get bigger. They've got kind of a small backcourt, I think.
That kid.
So yeah, I think you might take Kuminga in something.
Yeah, I think his best basketball is in front of him. The thing is that what people I don't think are talking about when it comes to Kuminga is now that he's going to be restricted, it's going to come down to him. NBA players have more power than they've ever had in the history of any sport. And so they're going to go to Kuminga and say, okay, we want to sign you to this restricted deal, and then next year you can be unrestricted. Jonathan Kuminga doesn't want to get jerked around again. I mean, I don't know Jonathan Kuminga and haven't talked to him, but the fact that he was out of the rotation until Steph Curry got hurt and they needed some scoring, and we knew what he was going to do. It didn't surprise any of us. I think he doesn't want to get jerked around anymore. So Kuminga is not going to sign anything, and he'd rather go to Brooklyn or he'd rather go anywhere but be here and get jerked around on the bench. So I think it's going to come down to, do the Warriors maybe want to keep him? Maybe. But the number one thing they have to do in the offseason is get size. I mean, look at the Western Conference, right? I mean, you look at the finals right now, Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein for Oklahoma City. Minnesota's got size. The only two teams that don't have size now are the Lakers and the Warriors. The older two teams, the Lakers trade Anthony Davis, they don't have any size. You can't compete in the Western Conference without size. Look at the team. San Antonio, maybe they get Kevin Durant. They're going to be up there. They're going to have a ton of size. Oklahoma City has size. Minnesota has size. Dallas is going to get Cooper Flagg, another 6'10" guy. They've got size with Derek Lively and the guys they have. I mean, every team in the Western Conference that you're going to compete with has size. Look at what Houston did to them from an offensive rebounding standpoint with Şengün and Steven Adams and the kind of size they threw at him. The Warriors have to get bigger. And the best asset they have to get bigger is Jonathan Kuminga. So you've got to use Kuminga in the offseason to get bigger, because if the Warriors can't get some size, a rim running center, a guy, you'd love to have a stretch big or something like that, but they've got to get some size. Draymond Green can't play the 5 anymore. Like he got burned out by the end of the playoffs. He can't play 5. So you've got to use Kuminga to get size. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. They have to get bigger. The guy that I love size-wise, I mean, there's some underrated players. I like the Stanford center, Maxime Reynaud, who's, maybe a late first, maybe a second-round pick. We're not really sure, but I think that's an exciting player. I kind of like the gigantic center for Alabama as well. Mm-hmm. Mark Sears is the point guard there, but they also have a center who's pretty good. I don't know. The Warriors only are armed with a second-round pick, but I do think that I would move Kuminga if I could get the right deal, because I just feel like, it just seems like Steph, it's pretty obvious Steph doesn't want to play with him.
Oh, yeah.
He's never said it.
Well,
but,
the numbers are the numbers.
I
The numbers say that he doesn't play well with Jimmy. He's redundant there. He doesn't play well with Steph, doesn't play with Draymond. So, I mean, they're going to say nice things about him because they don't want to hurt their leverage. Like Mike Dunleavy at the end of the year said nice things about him, but what are you going to do? Rip the guy so you lose leverage on the kid? You're going to say nice things, but, look, I don't think it's going to be Miles Turner. That would be a nice fit. Why would you leave Indiana? He's a free agent at the end of the year.
I don't think it's going to be that good of a player.
No,
I think it's going to be more like I think it's. I would say if you said, bet money on what Golden State adds, I could see like Larry Nance Jr. Just like a big man who's coming off a year where he shot the 3-ball incredibly well, really high percentage 3-point shooter. I could see something like that.
See,
he's an underwhelming guy.
Yeah,
he's out there.
I could see a guy.
I can also Joe's Joe's a marketer too. There's a center from China in this draft named Hansen Yang, who's 7'2". He's 255-pound center from China, and the guy's really skilled. And he's projected to go like 36th in round 2, and the Warriors have the 41st pick. So I would not be, shocked if they went for a Hansen Yang.
It's probably going to end up being, and I know that it's not going to make anybody really happy about it, but like Milwaukee's going to blow everything up. I expect Giannis to be gone. I could see Milwaukee wanting to get in on him, and you could see like a Bobby Portis, who I don't, like I said, is that a fair trade? No, Kuminga's much more skilled, but I could see a Bobby Portis, and then I could see him turning around and signing like a Brook Lopez, something like that. And I know that doesn't make everyone overly excited, but that's the kind of player they could be looking at, because I like Kuminga, but I think that Kuminga is going to kind of hold their hands to the fire and say, look, I'm not coming back. All right. So I'm not signed in some restricted thing. I'm sure as hell not signing a lot unless you're going to give me a max deal, and the Warriors aren't going to do that. Like the Jordan Poole thing burned him. They're not going to do that kind of a thing. So he'll get a contract from a lesser team. Damn, I thought that was hit harder. 5-1, by the way, in the 7th for the Giants. They'll go out and they'll get size, and I think they'll get Jonathan Kuminga to do it. But I don't, like you said, Miles Turner would be nice. Naz Reid would be nice. I mean, there's some guys out there. They're not going to get those guys. It's going to be a combination. I think Brook Lopez, for example, is going to be a Warrior. And then could they get somebody else to augment that? Because they do. They need size to compete in the West. There's no question.
Lakers are supposedly going to go after Brook Lopez too.
Yeah,
I could see that. That could be the team that stands in front of
yeah, and look, if you're Brook Lopez, playing with Luka and just kind of hanging on a corner three while he penetrates and kicks it out to you, that's definitely something that would be appealing to him. And the other thing about Brook Lopez, that even though what is he, 38, 39 years old, is he's an underrated defender. So you get him and he can play a little bit of defense. They've got to fix it. But as far as Kuminga is concerned, he's not going to sign up for this again. And right now, because he's restricted, everything is not in the Warriors' hands. They've lost control of that situation. And so Kuminga, through his agent, I'm sure, is just going to go, dude, like you didn't have me in the rotation in the playoffs. Quentin Post was playing ahead of me. Sideshow Bob was playing ahead of me. Like, come on, man. I'm not coming back to that. I don't see Kuminga coming back to it.
Well, it's funny. Everybody saw Kuminga sitting next to Joe at the Valkyries game the day after the season ended. But, I think Joe is smart enough to know that whether they bring Kuminga back or not, it's pretty imperative that they have a good dialogue with him, because if they want to get real value for him,
good point.
The best route may be via a sign and trade, which is going to mandate that Kuminga kind of plays ball with the Warriors, and what I had heard, and I don't know if this is true because the NBA salary cap is kind of convoluted and not necessarily it's not something that you can just assume, or it's not like, oh, it just makes sense. It doesn't always make sense. One of the things that I'd read was that if the Warriors do a sign and trade for Kuminga, if they're going to stay underneath that second apron and not have this punitive cap situation, they're going to have to only take back half as much money as he is making on the contract. And that's why I said Kobe White, because I figured Kuminga could probably get, let's say, a $25 million contract, and that fits perfectly because Kobe White makes $12.5. So you could trade Kuminga and the Bulls you could sign him to a 3-year, $75 million contract, $25 million a year, and then you could trade him for Kobe White and a pick or something like that with another asset, and that works. So, some
of it is just dependent, and I don't know this. What does the rest of the league think of him? Because you and I both know this, and I don't know if anybody talks about it publicly. Jonathan Kuminga has been a pain in the ass. I mean, I'm not saying that the Warriors have treated him quite well. If I was Kuminga, I'd be pissed off. I mean, I just, played in the playoffs when Curry got hurt, and I can score 20 a game with my, eyes closed. I mean, he's a talented kid, but he hasn't always taken well to coaching. He's a little bit of a cocky guy. He hasn't played well with the stars on your team. He can be a problem. I mean, I don't know how public these things are, but he's not overly coachable. He's a little bit arrogant and cocky. So that's another reason. Kuminga's not a fit, I guess is what I'm saying. When John Lynch was on this morning with Pat McAfee, he was talking about what a 49er is, and he was talking about all these different things, and I was thinking about Fred Warner and Nick Bosa and George Kittle and Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey and all these guys who fit. And then I thought to myself, Brandon Ayuk sure hasn't been a 49er lately. It's just you really stick out, I guess is what I'm saying, when you're not what the organization thinks you are. And you have Curry. And I'm not saying that Draymond's perfect on the court, but he's, he wants to win and he works hard and all those kind of things. Kuminga doesn't fit, and so they can say all the nice things they want about Jonathan Kuminga. But while Kuminga, I don't think wants the Warriors, honestly, I don't think the Warriors want Kuminga. He just doesn't really fit.
I think Steve clearly doesn't. And I would say Steph and Draymond and those guys probably don't.
They're not going to say it publicly, but they're not
Joe
big fans
does.
of him.
I think Joe still likes him.
It's fairly known behind the scenes that he's not everybody's favorite. So,
and he's a young player. He's kind of raw. He doesn't particularly play well with Steph. I've heard people say maybe trade him to Sacramento for Keegan Murray. I would do that. I would do that trade too. I like Keegan Murray. He's not as athletic as Jonathan, but he's way more skilled.
Yeah, but a lot of things come down to fit, right? Yeah, better fit. I just, and if you're the Kings, why not take a chance on upside? Because, the Kings, for example, they're just a mess. They're just a mess. They
are.
Every time.
I read today that they're interested in Marcus Smart and somebody else. Double down the line for, looks like could have been a double for Wilmer, but he's molasses slow. Dom Smith goes to third. He slides and he's safe. And Wilmer does go to second. Giants have second and third.
All right, let's go.
Threatening top 7 with 2 outs against the Dodgers. Looking to put on some a couple insurance runs.
You beat Yamamoto tonight.
Yeah.
I know you have Webb and all that kind of stuff, and they're looking good right now. But that offense is so good. If you could extend this thing out to 6-1, where at least even if they load the bases, hit a home run, they grand slam, they don't tie you. That'd be nice. Get a little insurance here, and a little redemption for the pen. After Colorado, get a little redemption for the pen. And this is what's so great about
Casey
Webb.
Schmidt's up. Casey Schmidt, the man of the hour. Is Casey Schmidt going to hit a 3-run home run and have 7 RBIs?
Oh, that thing was just fair. That was awesome. I bet the yard is electric tonight. Like you're looking at, you can rip Dodger fans all you want, and I get it. But there's over 50,000 in that joint tonight, and it's jumping. On a Friday night, it's jumping with the Giants in town. That's got to be a fun place to play tonight or be tonight.
Though Mary Hart is no longer sitting her seat. She's out of there.
A little too late for Mary Hart.
Yeah,
she's pissed.
It's too late for Mary. She's a senior citizen.
5-1 game, and what time is it? Yeah, a little 9:03. Because anybody who's been to Dodger Stadium, it's why people leave early. That is not an ezy place to get in and out of, man.
Oh my God!
So
I went down there. When a number of years ago, I was traveling with the Giants, and they played in Dodger Stadium, and KMBR sent me down. And I said, "Oh, you know what? It'll be easy. I'll stay with my wife's grandparents. They live out in Palos Verdes at the time. So I'm like, they're like, oh yeah, great, that's perfect. We'll cover your expenses, your gas, and this and that. All right, great. So I had the kids, and we went to Disneyland. We're hanging out with Amy's grandparents, and we're having a good time. Dude, Palos Verdes is south of LA,
right?
On the coast, obviously. Dodger Stadium is like north LA. It's like it's like on the way to Thousand Oaks or something.
Yeah.
It's like, it's way north.
Yep.
And dude, it took me like to get to, I'm like, oh, they're like, what time do you want to be at Dodger Stadium? I'm like, well, I want to be there to do some interviews in the afternoon. So like maybe around 2:30, like, oh, you should leave at like 11. And I'm like, what? 11?
That's no joke, man.
Are you serious? And I'm like, I can't leave. I'm not going to leave at 11. I'll leave at noon. So I left at noon, and sure enough, man, it took like, I would say 90 minutes on the freeway going pretty fast to get from Palos Verdes to Dodger Stadium. It's not, I mean, LA is massive.
But the traffic is, by the way, Logan Webb, we're going to the bottom of 7.
Yeah.
He's giving up one hit, man.
One hitter.
He's throwing a one hitter. Just letting you know.
One hitter for Logan Webb.
Which when I was young and in high school, a one hitter was a totally different kind of a thing. But a little one hitter here. A little one hitter. Very nice.
Hitter quitter.
Somebody said we got to start drinking again. I don't disagree with that.
Well, let me go get my second beer. Give me 30 seconds. I'm going to go get a second beer.
I'm going to switch with you. You go get your beer now, and I'll go get one because I brought 3 out here from the beer fridge in the garage, and we've drank them all. So when Crew gets back, I will go back and I'll get a couple more too, and we'll get to it because it's bottom of the pint. And to get to the bottom of the pint, you got to drink pints, and we have not been drinking for a while. But because the last time the Giants got a run, we both chugged a beer. Casey Schmidt had a granny, and we've had no scoring since then. And Casey Schmidt had an opportunity there with second and third, but struck out there. So Logan Webb back out to the mound. 1 run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. That's it. Logan Webb's been awesome. I mean, he's just incredible. And even if it was a different score of the game, the Giants are up 5-1. I mean, the very fact that, think about this. Yesterday you're in Colorado, and the weekend you're in Colorado, and you're using up all your bullpen. You use Rodriguez last night. He throws 43 pitches. You use Walker, you use all these guys. And so the reason that Bob Melvin can do that, he's thinking to himself, okay, well, I got Logan Webb tomorrow. He's going to give me a bunch of innings. We're going to be fine. So Logan's already given him, if he can get through this inning, he'll give him 7. And they didn't use Duvall yesterday, so they can use Duvall tonight. And so they should be fine. They can use Rogers tonight. They can use Duvall tonight. So if they need an 8-9, that's what they can do. They can use Rogers in the 8th. They can use Duvall in the 9th, and they can be fine. So Logan goes after the 7th. Huge inning here, because if he can get through this thing unscathed, as Will Smith leads off the 7th, then the Giants are going to be in good shape. So there you go. And again, 1 game back of the Dodgers going into this series. Should have had the win yesterday. They were 7-2 in Colorado. They blow that thing. But so big game tonight for Logan Webb. Big game for the series. And I did a short on this at John Lund Unleashed. I really think that this is one of the things where Buster Posey, even though we're, 6 weeks away from the trade deadline, this is something where Buster Posey can go to the powers that be. And those who think that Buster has all the power, yeah, he's the president of baseball operations, but he doesn't have the key to the safe. Those are a bunch of guys who I like to say are around this mahogany table. So those are the guys who have the purse strings, and Buster's going to go to him and say, look, man, I know the Dodgers are going to go get a starting pitcher. They need it. To stay in this race, not be a wild card team, to stay in this race, we've got to go get a stick. And a series like this can show the front office, not Buster Posey, but the powers that be who have the pen to the checkbook to say, look, we just took out the Dodgers. We're playing good baseball. We're good.
What I miss?
Fitzgerald catches a liner by Will Smith. So Webb.
Drive to right.
6 1/3.
That's gone.
Oh, really? How far am I behind here?
Somebody just hit one out.
Did they?
Teoscar Hernandez, drive to right, 378.
Okay.
378 feet to right. What do you think of the
TV's ahead? My TV's ahead. Okay, 5-2. One out in the
What do you think of the darkening of the stadium, the lights, the darkening?
I think that's pretty cool. I like anything. I like stuff like that.
I kind of like that too.
Yeah, when a dude hits a dinger like that, I like that they do that. Yeah, that's good. I like that they do that. Whatever. So you guys got 2 hits and 2 runs, whatever. But here comes the big pain in the ass, Mac Muncy. So we'll see. So he's kind of teetering here.
Is he wearing
sunglasses?
sunglasses?
You got 6 1/3.
Max Muncy is wearing sunglasses at night.
Maybe he's got some eye
Are those
issues.
sunglasses? Dude, it looks like Max Muncy is wearing sunglasses at night.
He's got something going on. Come on, man.
He's got the glasses on. Casey Schmidt. Oh, look at that play down the left field line. Dude, that's worthy. I just got my second pale ale here. Look at that.
Very nice. That's nice.
These are tall boys, too. That was a great catch.
See, that's good. Yeah, get Logan. I was just saying, get Logan through this inning. Rogers can set it up. You didn't use Duvall yesterday. Duvall can close this thing out. And, I think this is a huge series, man. This is the one where Buster can go to the powers that be and say, hey, man, we're legit.
We need Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, let's go. Let's be aggressive. We're legit. And he can deal with the prospects, what prospects go. But they're going to have to get some okay for money. Like you said, Rhys Hoskins would be perfect because they have a mutual option for next year, which the Giants, if Elders was ready, they decline. He's from Northern California, but his deal is about $18 million. So you'd have to, at the midway point of the season, you're going to pay the guy like $9 million, but they're way under the line. That's the thing. The Giants are under the line. So come on, you're legit.
We got this one from Fuji. He says, Larry, Seeker is still a thing. Have Damon pick up for you. Larry, you just roll up to Costco and be like Henry VIII. Bring me your finest meats and cheeses.
Bring me your finest meats and cheeses. That's classic.
I'll tell you, the only time in my life I've ever felt like Henry VIII is when John and I used to dine with the Niners in the prosciutto room.
Oh, if people could hear those stories.
Oh my God! So there is a room in the basement, and it truly is in the basement of the North Beach restaurant in North Beach. One of the oldest restaurants in the city.
And they have hams like hanging.
No, they're prosciutto.
Prosciutto.
Yeah, it's prosciutto. Yeah, whatever. Is prosciutto and ham is it similar? I don't know.
But I mean, it's amazing.
They're hanging. First of all, they have a room called the prosciutto room. It has subway tiles, so it almost looks like a bathroom. I mean, to be completely honest, right? Or a subway. And then they've got these prosciuttos that are like drying out, hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long. Probably should type that in and ask that question.
Like how long do they need to dry out or
how long does it is? How long does prosciutto need to age?
But it's the official kickoff of the season, and what they do is they put us all in there: producers, air talent, higher ups, play by play. Tim Ryan doesn't show up, but Papa does.
Okay, so prosciutto needs to age for a minimum, John, of 400 days, 13 months.
So it's all sitting in there.
And can be aged for up to 36 months.
Oh my God. So yeah, it's all in there. And we have this official kickoff every single year. It's usually, it's right before preseason starts. And it's
summertime.
And it's the most
it's the only thing that I asked for when I came back to KMBR. They said, do you want anything? I'm like, well, the money, I'm fine with the money. I'm fine with it. I go, the one thing I would like is I would like to be reinvited to the prosciutto room for the Niner thing. And everybody started laughing, and they're like, you're invited. You're invited.
And we've been doing this thing for years, and it's the official kickoff. And what's amazing about it is what people don't understand is it's all served family style, and it's Italian. And there's like five
or six kept bringing They kept filling up your wine glass. You took a swig of wine. It's like
the guy's right there.
The guy's right there.
Yeah. And so first of all, you're getting hammered. And then the second thing is they just keep bringing these platters of food. And there's probably, 30 people, 40 people at the table. And they have it all, and you're passing it around and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, it's chicken parm, it's pasta, it's salad, but it comes in different ways.
Seafood appetizers and
all these appetizers, and it comes
7
in
courses and
and by the end of it, you're like, you got to be
New
kidding
York
me.
strips.
And like you said, they keep filling the wine, and you're in the bag, and you're kind of like, and then all of a sudden, here comes the dessert, and it's on these platters,
cheesecake,
cheesecake, cannolis, like all these different, like you walk
chocolate
out there,
mousse.
Oh my God, you honestly. Who was the girl who ate the blueberry in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Like you literally have to be rolled.
The
out
Oompa Loompa? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, you have to be rolled out of there. It's just, but
it was epic, dude. Epic.
We've done it for years, and it's the official start of 49er season, and it's the director of broadcasting, Bob Sargent, that puts it on, and anybody who's involved with 49ers broadcasting is there. and even the money guys and the big boys are there, the CFO and the whole, and like big time people are there. But Papa's there, you're there, I'm there. Like the producers are there. Like anybody, Murph is there, Mac is there. Like everybody, it's just crazy. It was
amazing.
Time.
It was amazing. And they just keep bringing you this, course after course of this 5-star food. And then
you're so full.
And then all of a sudden, you've had like 9 different drinks and all kinds of things, and all of a sudden they bring you just the most perfect the most perfect New York strip.
Right.
And you're like, normally you'd grab your knife and your fork and you'd be like 3 bites into that thing in a second. It's like you stare at it for like about 90 seconds because you're like, dude, I can't do that.
Right. And that's like your fourth course. And like you said, you're looking around and all this prosciuttos all around you. You're in this chilling room for it. It's a good time.
Oh my God.
It's a really good time.
I remember I had a ride back to the parking lot at KMBR, and I said, I went deep drive to center field, and it's gone.
There we go.
Knizner.
The new catcher, whoever he is.
Knizner.
Nice.
No, is it a home run? No, it's a home run. He stopped at third. It's a home run, baby. You keep running.
Not know?
You keep running.
God, he smoked that.
He's dead center. Knizner.
Yeah, that's out. That's definitely out.
Is it Knizner or Knizner?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's out. Yeah, that's definitely out.
Way to go, Knizner.
Why is he that's funny. He's like, is it a home run? It's like, dude, you're not going to get tagged out. I'm trying to go, good dude, let's go.
I mean,
that's
look at
hilarious.
This thing. Keep your eye on it. This thing goes way out.
Yeah, it's
look, this is not even close. Look, watch this from this angle. Oh no! I thought it went way out. No, it only went out by a foot or two.
But that's a ball. Yeah, that's out. That's definitely.
It was clearly out, but
it's out.
But I thought it went like 10 feet out. No, it went out by 3 feet.
That's gonna feel pretty good, like your first dinger on a team.
Oh,
like
dude,
that's pretty good.
Majors versus the minors, and it's like,
oh yeah, that's way out,
dude. I mean, how great must it be to be a baseball player and to have a game where you hit a home run? Because like for a night, it's like you can go back to the hotel. You just can feel good. Right. It's like you.
Well, remember, Bochy had that rule: if you hit a home run, you were in the lineup the next day, right?
I mean, that's a good rule. I mean, I think Kapler had a rule the opposite. If you hit a home run, you absolutely didn't play the next day. It was like you were benched. I mean, it was fucking close. It was close. He didn't actually, but he was close.
I want to forget about that guy. Seriously,
is there anybody more? Is there anybody? If I say the most annoying people in Bay Area sports history,
that'd be tough.
I would say Gabe Kapler has got to be
pretty close.
He's the manager of the most annoying team in Bay Area sports history.
And even what's even funny is that they won 107 games, and people still
you still can't stand the guy
because he was just so
let me talk
arrogant.
Slowly about an egg sandwich.
Like I'm so much smarter than you. And I remember going into his office, and he would have the bourbon set up and the whole thing. Like it was almost like it was staged. Like everything he had was all staged in there, like to make it look a certain way. And then he would talk.
I can't. Dude, he did the number one rule I can't stand. Me and Tolbert and Brooks did a regular weekly hit with this joker. And I swear to you, he would say, that's a great question.
Every time.
About 90% of the time.
Well, remember this first interview?
And we were not in the same studio together. But when I would get that's a good question, I used to throw my arms in the air like I was Joe Montana after a Super Bowl or something. It's like, victory. But he said it every freaking time.
Well, and he got into it.
He's such a pandering, disingenuous jackass.
Well, because remember all the controversy around him when he came over and he was with the Dodgers and they didn't handle the sexual harassment situation so well. And then
basically he didn't sexually harass anybody, but a player who had a sexual harassment deal
they kind of buried it.
Went to Kapler and said, hey, can you help me? And Kapler, in his infinite wisdom, decided to get the player and the girl together, which is not what you do. And so obviously that wasn't the right thing, whatever.
But I remember
people lost their
press conference.
minds over it, though.
Oh my God.
You would have thought he like took out a shotgun, gunned 3 people down, and ran out, and they had footage of it. And it's like, dude, he gave somebody some bad advice.
Was just
I know. It's like,
herself.
shut up.
But it was
seriously.
It was so funny because that whole press conference, I can just remember I was at that press conference and every other question was, "That's a great question." It was like, dude, stop,
stop,
stop pandering to us. We're
stop. Stop doing this. Stop patting me on the head.
He was grilling. They were grilling him over that situation, and he kept saying, "That's a great question. That's a great question." I'm thinking, oh my God, this guy. That's when it started.
One time he said, I asked him about the pen, and the pen had sucked, right? And then the Giants won 107 games. But the pen had sucked for a couple of days. And I asked about the pen. I'm like, well, Gabe, are you worried about the pen? He's like, I'm really, really, really glad you asked me about that. and it was such bullshit that I'm like, I actually said, no, you aren't.
You did?
Yeah. I said, no, you aren't.
You're not.
No, you aren't. It's been a rough 3 days for the pen. He's like, no, actually I am, because I'd like to address this head on.
He was a piece of work.
Dude, he was such a dork.
Remember when they went to Mexico City? And I mean, he was doing all the food reviews. It's like, dude, you're the manager of the team. Stop telling me where to go to eat the best Mexican or drink the best Mexican coffee, or like every day he would post like 5 pieces of content. And you're like, aren't you managing a baseball team, or are you on vacation in Mexico City? I can't tell.
NBC Sports Bay Area has a limited budget, so they send them. They send like Laura Britt and Pavlovich and any other dullard they can find down to spring training, and they go to a restaurant.
I remember this.
And then they wind up playing this episode for every rain delay, and unfortunately, it rains a lot in April and May, so we wind up seeing this episode like 19 times, and it's like Pavlovich, Britt, and Kapler grading a pork chop, and Kapler's like, and Pavlovich with all the seriousness is like, what kind of grade, Gabe? What kind of grade would you give that pork chop? He's like, Alex, I would give that pork chop a 65. I would give it a 65 for flavor. I would give it a 60 for smokiness. I would give it a. It's like, shut up. It's like, can somebody please kick your ass before the next segment? It's like, I cannot listen to that guy. Kapler is the most annoying guy in Bay Area sports history.
Gotta be.
Who else is on the most annoying list?
By the way, 6-2 and Ohtani's up, 2 out. Rogers just gets it done, man. 8th inning, 2 out, 6-2 Giants. Ohtani at the plate.
Most annoying Bay Area sports athletes in history. I'll give you one. And he was annoying for no reason other than he had great shit, but he couldn't get anybody out. Giants had a right-handed pitcher named Brett Tomko.
Oh, of course.
And Brett Tomko threw 95, and he had a killer breaking ball, and he had a pretty good change. He was kind of nasty. And because he was kind of nasty, he got an opportunity on a different team every year. But then he sucked, and he got hit around a lot. So, and he'd been in the league, and he was very durable. So he'd been in the league like 7 or 8 years by the time he got to the Giants. Well, you forget, when a guy has durability, and he's been in the league 7 or 8 years,
the 9th,
and everybody's hitting him well, everybody steps into the box thinking good things, and it becomes kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I kind of felt like Brett Tomko was annoying just because his stuff was awesome, but he always got hit hard.
Yeah, I didn't like him. I mean, obviously, AJ Pierzynski's one.
Pierzynski, I like Pierzynski because Pierzynski
hated him.
Yeah, Pierzynski. So Pierzynski in a spring training game gets hit in the nuts on a foul tip. Stan Conti was the Giants trainer at the time, and he ran out there, and Stan, in kind of a smart-ass voice, said, "How you feeling?" Or how's it feel? And Pierzynski, outraged by that, said, "This is how it feels," and he punched the trainer in the nuts. I'm buddies with Ned Colletti at the time. So I call Ned Colletti, and I don't know anything about this. All I know is that they traded for this catcher. They traded Joe Nathan, Boof Bonzer, Francisco Liriano. They traded kind of a lot to get him. So it's like the second week of spring training. So I go, hey, Ned goes, hey, what's going on? I'm like, hey, how's spring training going? He's going great. I'm like, how's Pierzynski looking? And there's this big pause, long pause. And he goes, let's just say this. We're less than thrilled with the presentation thus far. That's what he said. And I go, whoa, what? What do you mean? What presentation? What are we talking about? He goes, let's just say this. We're less than thrilled with the presentation thus far. He wouldn't tell me anything. And I couldn't. It took me weeks to find out that story that he had punched Conti in the nuts.
I think that I think Farhan would go into that, even though you and I both had him on a lot. And if you interviewed him,
he was pretty glib.
Like when I was working with Tom, we'd had him on every week, and I didn't mind him. You know, we'd talk everything. We would talk about life. We would talk about fantasy football. We'd talk about baseball. But what happened was people hate a lack of accountability in sports. And what happened was when they got worse, and they got, like, at the beginning, it was kind of funny and his dumb little laugh and his dorkiness and all that kind of stuff. But when it became clear he didn't know what the hell he was doing, and he was, numbers and and all the up and down and churning the bottom of the roster, people just got so sick of it. And then he had the same bit going on, and it wasn't funny anymore. Like the analytics and the dumb laugh and the this and that.
I'm into fantasy football and all that. Yeah.
And all the excuses that he was making and this and that, it wasn't cute anymore. And because we knew, like, dude, you're not the answer. And so at the beginning, people were giving him the benefit of the doubt, but by the end, people thought he was like a secret double agent for the Dodgers. Like he was. People. I'll
give you a couple.
Got to get rid of that guy.
I'll give you a couple. Devondre Campbell this year.
Oh,
it's like, dude,
that's got to be one of the worst.
Everybody and their brother knew that you were a space holder for Greenlaw. Right. Everybody knew that except for him.
You clearly.
And he acted, and he started getting verbal and aggressive, and he was screaming a lot of obscenities in the locker room the week before they finally banished him. And it's funny too. I said on a live stream, I'm like, hey man, I've been in a lot of locker rooms. I've seen a lot of players, and this is not going to end well. This guy's a placeholder for Greenlaw. Greenlaw's coming back in a few weeks. The Niners are going to have to, I said this on a live stream, the Niners are going to have to take away his key card and drive him off the campus. And literally 10 days later, he imploded and refused to go in and had to be, they had to cut him. So he's one. I'll give you another one. You said accountability's big with fans. I'll give you a guy who had tons of credibility, but very little accountability, and Niners fans roasted him. Mike Singletary.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mike Singletary kept saying, got to watch the film. Mike, what happened in the third quarter? Got to watch the film. Got to watch the film. Okay, but Mike, I mean, the game just happened.
You were standing on the sidelines. You saw the play.
You called the plays. You designed the defense. This is your team. You're there. What did you think of it? I got to watch the film. It's like, Mike, what were you doing during the game? Are you the coach or are you a vendor? I mean, what are we talking about here?
I hate when coaches say that. Yeah. I really do, because it's like, stop.
It's a cop-out.
That's just an excuse.
It's like I don't have a good enough excuse for our crappy play, so I'm just gonna go with my buzzword of I got to watch the film. Now, if you ask, Mikael Williams,
right,
or Alfred Collins, week 8, hey Alfred, what'd you think of the game? What'd you think of your performance? Hey man, I got to watch the film. That's legit. That's a legit answer. It's not like everybody who says they need to watch the film's full of it. But when you're a coach and it's your plan and it's you're the head coach, you have to have more for the media than,
Yeah, no doubt. I think at the end, Garoppolo graded on people just because everyone thought after he missed Sanders with the throw, and then it was like, okay, he's gone. No, he's not. He's gone. No, he's not. And he kept hanging around. He was like a cockroach, and it was like, is Jimmy, like, we've got to upgrade the position clearly. We're not going to win a Super Bowl with this guy. Like, he went 5-0, then he signs the contract, and everybody loves Jimmy, and everybody thought he was going to get better because he was with the Patriots, and they hadn't really seen it. And then you kind of saw how limited Jimmy was. And the organization, remember, they had an opportunity to get Brady before he went to the Bucs, but they said no to it. And then it became really clear the year after that. It's like, okay, this guy's limited. They need to get better at the position if they're going to win. And so everyone was just like, get rid of this guy. That's what it led to the whole Trey Lance, is because everyone was just like, this is a championship team, except for at the most important position on the field. And people at the end got really frustrated with him. I mean, good looking guy, great. Everyone loved like the linebacker mentality and that kind of stuff. But then it became pretty obvious that Jimmy wasn't the brightest bulb in the room.
Right.
He was just holding everybody back. And so everybody was at the end of his tenure was kind of like, get this dude out of here, man. Let's go.
He just was thick. He just wasn't, and I don't mean thick body. I'm talking about just not the smartest guy. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm trying to think of another one. I just had it and I just lost it. But Debo. Last year with his, I'm not struggling, I'm just not getting the ball.
Right.
No, bro, you're
and
struggling.
Then he drops the ball.
Yeah, and they dropped the ball. And
did you see how big he was at camp in Washington?
Oh, dude, you see how slow he looked?
And
then Kittle's
massive.
We all saw the guy look slow as hell. And then Kittle's like, what you saw was not slow. It's like, George, you're a loyal guy, you're a good friend, but let's, maybe
that's as big as I've ever seen him. And
let's let Debo fight his own battles.
I mean, look, fans know this too. When Debo's in shape, and I don't know, I think he's a little bit older, and he's got running back, and he's gotten hit a lot of times, and I just think he's like a running back more than a receiver. But when I saw those pictures in the video from camp, it wasn't that he was running half speed, which is what Kittle suggested. Dude, he looks like he's 230. I mean, he is big and thick. And I saw like 5 or 6 different pictures.
Slow, man.
And
he
the video,
really slow.
Yeah, it's everybody in Washington who thinks that he is going to be this big part with McLaurin and that whole thing. Washington, to me, is a team that is poised to take a step back. We'll see. I mean, I like Jaden Daniels. It's just that C.J. Stroud was the same thing, and then he took a step back. They do all this work on you in the offseason, and then you got to take a step up. He's a nice player. But everybody thinks outside of the Bay Area that Debo's going to be the Debo they saw, in 2019 or whatever, or against the Rams in 2021 or whatever. Those pictures are alarming. He looks.
What do you make of the McLaurin rumors? There's a lot of talk that McLaurin wants out. Immediately, people are like, "Yeah, trade him for Ayuk."
You think the Niners want to go through another wide receiver negotiation? They don't.
No, but I mean, I kind of think the 49ers just want to get out from underneath Ayuk. And this would allow them to get 1 year of McLaurin and then just let him walk. Yeah. The other thing is, I kind of think this is kind of a pivotal year for Lynch and Shanahan. And I think I'd like to have a healthy receiver like McLaurin. Plus, I get this vibe, even though Lynch just, talked him up on KMBR. I'm not saying he's pumping and dumping him, but I don't know, man. It just seems like Ayuk's not happy. They don't seem like they're happy with him. Now McLaurin's not happy. We know Jaden Daniels loves Ayuk. Debo loves Ayuk. If I could get McLaurin for Ayuk, I would do it.
I just don't think he's going to play without a new deal. And the Niners just went through this. So any kind of a situation where it's like, wait a minute, we have to do another contract with a disgruntled wide receiver. No, thanks.
Yeah. You're probably right.
The thing that Lynch said today, if you take him at his word, and you know this as well as I do. So what Kyle does is Kyle's the pessimistic one. Hey, Kyle, how's Ayuk doing? I don't know. We'll see. Hey, John, how's Kyle doing? Oh, or how's Ayuk doing? Oh my God, he's doing great, and he's going to be ready, and this and that. So I guess it's probably somewhere in the middle. But if we take John Lynch at his word just for a second here, and let's say he's on the PUP list and misses the first 4 games. And, just misses the first month of the season. And today is 7 months. By the way, Ryan Walker's scaring the shit out of me right now, but he just got Freddie Freeman to fly out. So now we got Will Smith at the plate, and we got one out. I don't love Ryan Walker on the mound anymore in the 9th, but we'll see. But they got a 4-run lead. But Lynch is overly optimistic. But let's just say for the sake of conversation, today was because you saw this on Instagram, Brandon Ayuk tweet or put out a post that said it's 7 months today. So an ACL, he's got a major knee injury here. Maybe that's a 10-month injury. I don't think it's a year injury, but it's a 10-month injury. And we're sitting here 3 months away from the first game of the year. I'm not saying he's going to play the first game of the year, but let's say he plays at the beginning of October. I think they're in okay shape if Brandon Ayuk is there the first part of October.
Depending what he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be diminished, right? I mean, he had a major injury.
Yeah. I mean, that's not just an ACL. I mean, he tore the whole thing up. So, but even at that point, that's 11 months. And, guys are coming back from Achilles in a year. So, even though it's a major injury, knee injury, we had heard at first maybe it was going to be like half the season. John Lynch is saying today on the Pat McAfee show that, he's healing a lot faster than they thought. So maybe that's the first month. And if he's out the first month, and the only reason I'm saying this and talking optimistic, my thought is that if they thought it was going to be longer than that, Amari Cooper's sitting out there. Amari Cooper doesn't have any leverage.
How about Keenan Allen?
Right, or one of those two guys, like
Gabe Davis. I mean, I think you could get Malachi Corley from the Jets for very little.
But that's what I'm saying is there's guys out there, and if they didn't think that he was going to be back, I think after the first month, I think they'd assign one of those guys. So I think it's a really good sign. And plus, what John Lynch said today or yesterday, I think that's a really good sign that Ayuk is coming along faster than maybe we think.
Callie and Watkins and Garendo, by the way, all three of those guys look really good. Fuji Simeon says, hypothetically, what would a Logan Webb trade get the Giants? I don't think the Giants want to move Logan Webb. I think Logan Webb's going to be a Giant for a long time. I don't think I would even – I think it would get him a good bat. I think it would, but I don't think they want to do it. Chardal's in the house. He said, member for 14 months. What's up, Chardal? He said, hi, Larry and John. I'm a big fan of both of your channels, and you two rock. I would like to be a special guest on your show, and go Giants. Go beat L.A.
I like the sweep. I like the thought on the sweep there. They're 1 out away. Is Teoscar Hernandez and the man on first and Ryan Walker.
Fuji Simeon says, imagine Larry and Kapler as workout buddies. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if we had matching lime headbands and matching
how would he be?
Pastel wristbands?
Bro, can I work in?
Bro, hey man, can I borrow? I like to wear spandex,
so
and I wear a lot of spandex. Ground ball to Casey Schmidt, throws over to second, and like that, Dan Cochimilio jumps in. Danny, what's up? Danny's going to take over here.
Hey, awesome game.
That's a big win.
Big win, Danny.
Over 162, but that's a big win, man.
Huge win.
Yeah,
Huge win. Huge, man. Casey.
One last super here. Fuji says Kapler would be a great SI Wildcat. Fits right in. Stop it.
Hey, all we need is one more. Hey, if we get one more super, then we got.
That's right. We chug for one more super. So I've got a full beer going here.
Throw a chug because I got to go get one, but I'll chug one.
One more super, and we will chug.
Let me go get it because I know someone's going to give us one.
Someone's going to do it. It might be Fuji. Danny, give me your quick thoughts on the game tonight. Exciting game. I thought of you and only you, and the live stream that we did with Casey Schmidt when he golfed that one out to left. I could not be happier for anybody. Casey Schmidt, I think, has got a real opportunity in front of him, and I get the feeling he's going to seize that opportunity.
Oh yeah, I think there's no doubt he's he's just playing now. He's just playing his game, and I think he realizes, hey, look, I got 2-3 weeks, my opportunity to show that I belong as an everyday player, and if he continues to hit, I think there's a spot for him at second base over Fitzgerald, and you move Fitzgerald to a utility guy. Look, Casey,
how long is Chapman out for, Danny? How long is Chapman going to be out for?
Probably about 2-3 weeks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's going to get Casey's going to get a full run to get into an offensive rhythm, and then when Chapman comes back, he'll probably need a little rehab. But when he comes back, you're saying maybe Casey moves across the diamond to second or first. John was saying he likes the idea of the Giants maybe trying to go for a trade for Reese Hoskins middle of the year. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I love Hoskins. I think he's having a great year at first for Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's just got to start sucking. That's the problem is they're playing too well.
Dom Smith's been a good fill-in. He's been hitting, and I don't know. It's just a strange thing. The whole thing with Casey, yesterday he got, made the error and people were all over him on my show. And I said, look, he made an error. And if you look at the play, and he's not going to make an excuse, but it hit the lip of the grass. His glove was actually, kind of below his waist. As you turn your glove and it hits the thing, you don't have time to flip your glove up this way. You have to keep it that way. So it kind of hit him in the stomach. And, he still should have had it, but people were like, oh, he sucks, because
he's a very good defender.
Yeah. I've been telling people, look, the dude was mean, the Giants are the one that compared him to Matt Chapman when they drafted him. Okay. They said he's got Matt Chapman like reflexes at third base. And, at San Diego State, he was an unbelievable defensive player. He won a Gold Glove in the minor leagues at Eugene for the top third baseman in all of the minor leagues.
He golfed it out too, man. That ball tonight, man. He hit that thing halfway. It was more than halfway up the bleachers.
Yeah. Krueger said, he goes, not too many go up that far. I mean, he hit it. He hit it. And you could tell he was pumped. I mean, that was,
man. Great kid.
Yeah, that was awesome. But
all right, so we got our final couple of supers before we hand it over to Danny. So Fuji Siemens says, cheers, chug away. Justin in the house says, chug for the Giants and Jair Alexander. What happened to Jair Alexander?
They're not getting Jair Alexander.
Okay, there we go.
Another injured guy.
Jamie Alizaga says, cheers, mate. Yeah. And we got this one from Bay Area JJ. He says, what a freaking win. Bounce back. Win the division.
That's what I'm talking about. I like that. I like that optimism, man.
Here we go. And then everybody, here it is. Great night. Good win. We got a great record going. Everybody join Danny and NorCal Sports Network for the postgame show. Danny, who's on the postgame tonight? You got anybody? You got Lou. You got Ned. You got Borna. You got Bora. Who do you got? Nobody or just you?
We got Casey Schmidt joining us tonight. No,
nice.
No, that would be nice.
Saw him on the post game right there.
Yeah, he's on now. Yeah,
get him.
Yeah, I probably, I don't want to bug him when he's in his lot, in the clubhouse and
hit his first granny.
Yeah, but what a night. So
you have a cell phone though.
Yeah, I do have a cell phone. Yeah, I text.
Get him on the show.
Let's go.
He's got nothing better to do.
It would be nice. It would.
All
be
he
nice.
can do.
This is NorCal Sports Network.
It would be nice.
There's Fox. There's ESPN. There's NorCal Sports Network. I mean, come on, this is a big one.
Yeah, boy, that was awesome though. Yeah, so I'll have Lou will be on, which would be fun.
Nice.
Lou will be going, and I asked Ned, and Ned said he was going on KMBR tonight, so he said that was enough for him. So,
okay. I sent him a text too. I gave him an invite. I didn't hear back.
Yeah.
All right. Danny, everybody go to NorCal Sports Network. Danny's going to head over there right now. He's getting the spread ready. He's tapping the keg. He's getting the hors d'oeuvres put out in the green room. Lou's going to be absolutely a picture of positivity tonight. He's got nothing but positive takes. But Danny, we'll send him on over.
All
Have
right,
a good night.
Thank you. All right, you guys too. Take care.
The great Dan Coach Amelia. John, good stuff, man.
That was fun tonight.
2 hours and 26 minutes. These Friday night, these bottom of the pint is a lengthy endeavor, but it's been good. We have
that's fun, man.
It is fun, and
you're getting Yamamoto versus Webb on a Friday night, and the Dodgers and the Giants are fighting for the NL West. If you'd have told me that when we did that first one, I mean, there's no way I'd have believed you. So this is fun, man. 1,000, almost a little bit over 1,000 people in the room right now. So thank you to everybody who supported the channel. Thanks to Mancini Sleep World. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle. Thanks to John. Give John's channel a like and subscribe. It's John Lund Unleashed. He's just starting it, but he's got a lot of momentum. He does some great stuff. John Lund Unleashed. Give him a like and subscribe. Like and subscribe over here as well. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow on these. I was going to say on the Sports Leader, but it's not the Sports Leader. It's the YouTube Leader. Yeah.
This is what happens when I throw a few beers back.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
I'm all over the place. I'm a circus. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared.